Justin and Jai are a couple of guys who know they're gonna die, so they're biding time by consuming content and wasting their breath. It's a podcast called Amusing Ourselves to Death. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Amusing Ourselves to Death, a podcast about the content we love. I'm Justin Passano.
I'm Jaya Peck, and I'm 1 year older.
And 1 year.
It's been 1 year, man.
This episode, we're counting down our top 19 of 2019 based off of a bit that Jaya's been doing for a long time. This is my his personal life.
My 8th year of doing this, I think.
Oh wow, congrats.
Yeah,
you've been really all over Facebook. If you don't follow Jaya Peck on Facebook,
please defriend me.
Please defriend him.
Please.
If you
I'm looking for an excuse to quit. So.
Yeah.
If you kill me, if we were playing GoldenEye, you kill me in a video game. You just kill me in a social media frame. Unfriend me.
Don't cancel you, but just kill you. Just
unfriend me. Don't follow me.
Yeah, don't follow me.
Just let me be alone.
Remember when being followed was bad? Like, are you following me? And now it's like it's good. It's like, why aren't you following me?
Yeah, why aren't you following me?
Yeah.
Why aren't you just trailing behind me in a white van, just shaking a bag of M&Ms at me?
There's really nothing different. Than it. Basically, following each other on social media is we're all following each other in big white vans, shaking bags of candy, and the candy is affirmation.
The likes, the notifications,
the
retweets.
It's insane. I was up until 2 a.m. last night just checking all of my social media over and over again.
You ever close one out and then go back to it because you thought you didn't check it yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. Mm-hmm. It's a sickness. We're all sick people.
It's not good.
Which is why we need that sweet content.
Sweet content. Bring it back around. But no, what I was going to say relating to social media is you've been all over Facebook posting your top TV dramas of the 2010s.
Just going back to the decade.
You're going through everything.
No, just top TV dramas, I don't want to use the word sitcoms, but top TV comedies.
Okay.
More like the half-hour formats. And then movies as well. Movies, I had to kind of go to the top 15. There was just we had a good decade of film. It was really hard to kind of just pick 10. You'd have to almost just do one a year, and I felt kind of weird about that. But yeah, what I was planning on doing is, surprise, this top 19 of 2019 is only going to be available as a podcast episode. So if you want to hear these thoughts, I'm not going to be posting these on the feed. You're going to have to listen to this whole goddamn episode to hear my thoughts on this past year. So
that's great. Wow, we got exclusive. Wow. I'm excited to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you've curated this list. I went
through back through the year, and it's a mixture of mainly movies, television, and a few VGs / video games.
Great. You pitched this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We're gonna go kind of in descending order, 19 through 1. Mm-hmm. We're just gonna come back and forth. I'll say my 19, you say your 19. I say my 18, you say your 18, and we'll try to keep it moving.
Yeah. This probably won't be I don't think it'll be as long as a normal episode.
This will be our longest episode ever, I'm sure.
Yeah, I joked earlier it'd be 3 hours. Because we said it wouldn't be. Mm-hmm. You've curated your list, as I told you before. You texted me yesterday to be like, hey, still down to do this? And I haven't thought about it. So I've slapped together a list on my phone of a bunch of things I enjoyed this year. They're not in any particular order. You've numbered yours, but we will pretend mine are in an order. Right. We will count down. We might have some matchies.
Also, matchy.
Spoiler alert, there may be a burrito in mine. I might just talk about a burrito for 5 minutes, maybe 15 minutes.
That's good. I actually have not eaten anything today, so
okay, great.
Please talk about burritos.
All right, well, yeah.
Speaking of, this is the first. We're not drinking seltzer today. A little too early for seltzer.
We're recording this at 11:27 a.m. on a Saturday.
We still have things to do, and errands to run, cars to drive. So we're both drinking a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. This is brewed in my Chemex. Wegmans Organic Specialty Coffee, the donut shop blend. It's a light body, balanced flavor. It's got 2 pictures of donuts on it that looks like something Homer Simpson might covet.
Pink with the sprinkles?
Yeah, the sprinkled donuts.
Oh, I see. Oh, that does look nice.
Nice artwork from Wegmans.
It's really nice. Yeah. Well, I had a little bit left in mine. I brought my own mug over. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this thing for about 10 years now that I blame my friends Matt and Sean for doing, is walking around with just open mugs of coffee on the street. I just bring it out of my house like this. It's not in a thermos or anything. I just will drive with it with just an open mug of hot coffee, because you know what? You got to get your adrenaline from somewhere.
I had a boss who I once drove to Philly with, and he did not use a travel mug, so he just had a hot cup of coffee, just kind of, open.
Yeah.
And he's driving down the Schuylkill Expressway, weaving in and out the traffic, talking on his cell phone, and just taking sips of coffee, 70 miles an hour. And I thought I was going to die.
That's the way to live.
Yeah.
That's the way to live, is thinking you're going to die.
He's the freest man I ever knew. So.
Wow. Yeah. So I made a little thing with my AeroPress at home. Brought this over to Jaya's. It was a Starbucks French roast.
Okay.
And I mixed that. I had a little bit left in here, and I put the Wegmans in there, so I got a little mix blend in here.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little almond milk. Yeah, we're all set.
milk.
We're all set to give you our top 19.
Yeah. How about let's get to it.
Let's get into it.
How about you kick us off
All
with
right.
your top 19. Your top 9.
Number 19 is the video game Control, which we did cover an episode.
I feel like we should have like a, Comedy
Please,
Bang
please.
Bang has like,
Yeah, please.
number 19.
We'll do that in post.
We'll just do.
I'll
I'll add a thing.
The video game Control by Remedy Studios, which we did talk about extensively on an episode of this podcast, which you can listen to now wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, it's out there.
A kind of a David Lynch-esque exploration of this big government building. Your character has telekinesis. There's an incredible backstory, conspiracy, videos you find on playing on projector screens, audio files, memos. This is the first game I've taken. Actually, was playing, and I had to go out of town for work, and I literally packed up my PlayStation 4, took out those goddamn HDMI cables out of my TV, packed in the suitcase.
Those goddamn cables. When are we gonna just have a Bluetooth PS4?
When can we just plug it into our eyeballs and just like, I'm gonna play a video game now, just recline back, take off the old shoes, and just play a game.
That feature will come out, but then it'll just be like, oh, well, now after you do that, you'll only live for 5 more hours on this earth. But then you'll be able to experience that.
I'd be good with that.
'Cause it causes permanent brain damage immediately.
So yeah, this was a very fun game, very inventive gameplay, a fun world, sound, just mood, just that kind of feeling of like there's something around the corner, and they're all in on it. Kind of a very conspiracy feeling that I haven't felt since like Oliver Stone's JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah, highly recommended. And there's some DLC coming next year. Maybe we'll talk about that once it's released.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm looking forward to that. We talked about it. I enjoyed this game quite a bit. The fighting mechanics got a little repetitive for me, but the story made up for it. The world building made up for it. Stylistically, it looks really cool.
It makes us both want to rewatch Twin Peaks, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Which we both just bought the box set. Z-Day.
Box set, baby.
Good box set, baby. This game it's really well done, and I think that I think when this game came out, you mentioned how your system crashed a couple times.
Yeah,
I think this is one of those games that it's like, oh shit, like this is probably one of the last big ones to come out. Like we're already kind of surpassing the technology of the PS4 now.
Yeah, there's like graphic interfaces that are on the PC version that are not in the console versions. There's stuff with ray tracing, how like the game engine handles light hitting surfaces. So yeah, I mean we're getting the PS5 and the Xbox whatever next year. So good. One of the last old rides on the consoles of the I think this is like the 8th or 9th generation of consoles we have.
Yeah,
right now.
I think so.
Justin, what's your number 19?
My number 19 is I'm going to kick this off with you know what? I'll keep it with another video game.
Please.
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight.
We spoke earlier that this game, I believe, did not come out this year, but I experienced it for the first time this year. It's a game that I wanted to pick up for a while. I got a good deal on it. It was some kind of PS4 sale. I got the complete, like, the treasure collection or whatever. So it has, like, a little prequel game and then the main game. But it's a side-scroller, like, kind of 8-bit throwback
You're
game.
going left to right in the screen.
Left to right.
Not like an open world thing.
Right.
Okay.
It's very much reminded me a lot of a few different games, specifically like Mega Man, like Castlevania. Like they worked in a lot of different mechanics that made it feel. I've played like these throwback like 8-bit like indie games or 64-bit or whatever the heck it is, and like it seems like the nostalgia kind of like becomes more of a primary thing than like actual gameplay. Whereas this is actually really fun, like hack and slash game. There's like lots of like hidden rooms, so you want to destroy everything with you play a little knight, and he has a shovel.
Got a shovel
You're
knight.
a shovel knight, and you're trying to save your partner who is kidnapped by a witch. So the opening map, because you go to different worlds, reminds me very much of Super Mario 3.
Okay.
Where you're just like going,
it's kind of a zoomed out perspective.
Yep, zoomed out perspective, and your little avatar goes to like these different areas, and then each boss is a different kind of knight with a different kind of power.
Shovel
and
Knight
theme,
fighting
which is,
other kind of types of gardening equipment knights, like a hoe knight or a rake knife knight.
No, I think no. Funny enough, you're the only one that has like a practical weapon. No, that's an honest, sincere question. It could have been like, oh, hose knight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, everybody else is like
Mulch
kind
knight.
of pretty badass. Like one, I think, raises the dead. One is like a kind of a tinkerer. He's like he's more of like a little kind of creature inside of a big, almost like it's a Ninja Turtle character, the Brain. You know, like how he
the big pink guy. The
yeah, the big
pink guy.
Crane. So but he plays like a small, little weak character. So he builds like these huge robots that he's in, and you have to fight a big robot. It's just a really
sounds fun. Spoke to you, reminded you.
Yeah.
It both doubled as a nostalgia vehicle, but also fun gameplay.
Just really fun, and it wasn't like Mega Man where it's like I downloaded the anniversary collection of that, and I forgot how fucking hard that game is. It's so hard. But Shovel Knight's like there's difficulty, but it's not over. I don't know. It's not overdone. It's a very good balance of it. Because there are games out there that are just like grinding and it's about being difficult. Where this is like
pain simulators, as we once did.
Yeah, pain
video
simulators.
games.
Yeah. But yeah, highly recommend Shovel Knight for PS4. I think it's out for other platforms too.
All right.
But
Shovel Knight, you're number 19.
Number 19.
My number 18 was the film Midsummer, the Ari Aster horror film that came out this summer. It actually came out around Midsummer.
Yeah, I wonder if they meant that.
It was about a group of college kids going to visit their friend's like a Swedish commune, and basically this thing is a elaborate cult, and there's some ceremonies done, and things get out of control, and there's death, and there's blood, and there's pubic hair and food, and there's falling.
Lots of falling.
There's a bear involved. I won't say how that happens.
Right.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Never want to see it again. Definitely, there was some stuff before it turned summer. In the winter, there was some developments with the main character's family that were just, it put you in a very
There are multiple seasons in this movie.
Terrible state of mind. And I was like within the first 10 minutes. But visually incredible, as my Brian Henkel called it, Wes Anderson's Wicker Man. Just filled with all kinds of great colors, and it had this kind of like a weird pace and just kind of acknowledgement, like, this is a horror film. Things are going to be happening. We're not going to try to like trick you out or fool you into thinking this is something that it's not.
No twist ending.
No. And it ended in a very unforgettable image, which is, all movies are kind of just building up to one final shot. And, what's in that shot is really like what all the heavy lifting was done in the first portion of the film.
It's the period at the end of the sentence that you're writing.
It's the period, yeah. So unfortunately, like, this guy's, this is his second movie, Ari Aster. His first movie was Hereditary, another cult movie,
very
horror
witchy,
film.
culty.
Yeah. Apparently he does, like, that was just kind of like a fluke of like financing. Like, he had to, like, whoever was paying for the movie, like, oh yeah, we're doing another cult one next. So I believe he might be working on something of a different genre, possibly musical, or just something just out of left field. Maybe he's doing like a wacky crime movie, buddy cops.
I think he's got it in him. I feel like now's the point where Hereditary I didn't like as much the first time I saw it, and then the second time I saw it really hit me because I thought the ending was a little predictable. Where then Midsummer, that's I believe my top movie of 2019.
Number one for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
at least it was up until that's my top movie of 2019.
That's great.
Because I'm not going to count any of the Marvel stuff or any of the Star Wars McClunky stuff.
As you should not.
I should not. So, like, seeing as we're not going to rewatch this, we're probably not going to ever do an episode of Midsummer.
I never want to see it again, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, it took my soul and threw it into a food processor. But,
it was great. I saw this with our friend Aaron. He didn't know anything of what it was about. I knew very little of what it was about.
Aaron.
And Aaron is a very sensitive boy, and I was like, yeah, you want to see this movie? He's like, yeah, sure, it looks interesting. And I want to talk about this experience. We went into the theater, and then immediately the first like 10 minutes of the movie, as we discussed, horrifying. It's the most horrifying part of the movie. Like,
horrifying, but not like elevated. Like, it's not like a guy with a mask comes in with a knife. It's just like something that like this could easily happen. Family members doing stuff to each other.
It destroyed me, and the rest of the movie was almost a relief compared to the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
Like, the most horrifying thing happens in the first 10 mints for me, and then after that, it's like smooth sailing. It creates like a
please
really
bring on the magic mushrooms and like the crazy rituals. Yeah,
There's some comic relief in there. It's a dark romantic comedy breakup movie in a way. I wouldn't, I guess, use comedy loosely, but with horror and comedy, the tension's very similar. So like, there was one scene in particular, the hammer scene. I won't give out anything else.
There's a hammer.
There's a hammer.
And a scene.
And there was a point where this elderly couple, there were maybe 5 of us in the theater, got up and just left.
Oh, after that.
During that scene, they were all on board for the movie up until that point. Even like kind of, they were chatting a little bit. Be like, oh, like clearly I think they were enjoying it. And then this is an hour into the movie when this is a very slow burn movie, which I love. Mm-hmm. That happened, and they were like, all right, see ya. And then afterwards, Aaron had to go to the diner, which I also needed to process the movie, and I think we just needed to talk about something else. It's a very, I don't know. I love this movie, but it's very heavy.
Yeah, I'm glad it exists, but it's something I just would want to put on. Even to show somebody, like, hey, you gotta check out Midsommar.
Well, that's the problem. Is like I was gonna show. It came on Blu-ray yesterday. I ordered it, and I was gonna show Jamie, my roommate, hadn't seen it yet, and I was like, hey, we gotta watch it. And he loved Hereditary, but it's like. It's the same thing you just said. It's like, well, do I really want to show people this? It feels like a dirty...
Should I ask for their consent first, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, should I tell them exactly what it is first? My friend Travis, he never saw Hereditary, and he's also very, like... He doesn't handle stuff like that well. Like, we watched the first season of Breaking Bad, and he was like, I can't watch this anymore. I'm too stressed. And I was like, if you are stressed in the first season never watch it.
Like, wacky hijinks and...
Yeah, no, it got too real for him. And then it like just stressed him out too much. And then he was like, hey, should I see Midsommar? And I was like, never see this movie. Never see this movie. And he's like, yep, I just read the description of it and what happens. And I'm like, I never want to see this. He's like, I never want to see Hereditary. I'm like, good. So it's just one of those.
Good looking out, Justin.
I try. I never used to be like that. I'd be like, yeah, let's watch this thing. And then
it's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
It's going to tell you who you are as a person.
In the middle of it, you're like, oh no, what have I done?
It's too late now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go off.
So that was my 18. What's your number 18 of 2019?
My number 18 of 2019. Let's keep with the theme here. It has to be HBO's Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
The
5-episode miniseries about the Chernobyl accident in Russia.
Yes.
Very well done. Very accurate.
Yeah, I knew very little about the incident.
Same here. I knew it more as like a punchline. Like, yeah, that thing blew up more than Chernobyl did.
Yeah. And there's that video game that came out like 8 years ago, Chernobyl. The Chernobyl.
Yeah. And there was a horror
Diaries.
Film. Yeah. So what spoke to you about Chernobyl? Just
oh my god, it's just so heavy. I love. I forget. See, I didn't have a chance to look up a lot of these actors' names, but the main actor,
Jared Harris,
he was in Mad Men. Played
Lane Price in Mad Men.
Lane Price, yeah, one of my favorite characters in television of all time. Lane Price.
He seems like a real person, you know.
Yeah.
He's got a face, that's for sure.
He's got a face, yes. No, I think what spoke to me about Chernobyl is just this horrible thing that easily could have been prevented, and it's just the bureaucracy of like
people not want to take responsibility.
Yeah, nobody wants to, and that one
playing hot potato with the blame,
right? And it's not really a spoiler. I'm going to talk about the guy who is responsible for it, the guy in the control room who just tells. He keeps doing the wrong thing, and then everybody, like, he's kind of like a senior person in the Chernobyl, like,
in the power plant.
And there's some decisions he makes that the people working under him who are younger, basically the whole staff is like they're not equipped.
No qualifications.
Nobody's qualified to run this power plant. And this one guy keeps telling him to do this one thing, and he's just like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And he forces him to do it, and that's what essentially causes the meltdown. But yeah, it just all this stuff, just like, and then them trying to cover it up.
But then like when Jared Harris, the scientist, comes in, he's like he knows exactly what has to be done, and just all of his struggles are trying to like, no, you have to be like, if you don't do this, like,
you don't understand how bad this is,
right? Like cover this up with this kind of material. This got to go on the roof with this robot, and then there's all kinds of other bureaucracy issues. Oh, we don't have the money for that. Like, but this is
and they also don't even understand how long it's going to last. It's like, no, you don't understand. This is going to be like this for a long time. Like, people can't live here anymore. You need to get people out of here, and yeah, and the I don't know. I could talk about different like scenes, like that bridge. I forget what they call it now, the Death Bridge or something like that. Of the people who
died on that bridge,
watched it. Like,
they watched it explode, and they all
because they're like, oh, look at these like weird lights over the power plant. I think they thought it was like some kind of weather thing. Or, and then all those people are dead. The woman. Yeah, I don't want to get into specifics.
It's a good 5-episode intricate look at what like docudrama.
Yeah.
it gets really granular in terms of like the science, and it doesn't dumb things down too much.
No.
But it does, it's definitely like they condensed a lot of main characters, and it's maybe like 2 or 3 just because of like economic reasons for telling a story.
Yeah.
And and
it's not just, well, you mentioned the science of it. It's just interesting to see how they try to figure this out. Like the thing with the roof, trying to get the pieces off, because you think it's like, oh, well, it melted down and they evacuated, that was it. And it's like, no, there were a lot of things that they had to do to contain this, and they had to do it in ways, like they had to figure out how to do this without causing the most loss of life, because a lot of people died during the cleanup.
They were timing them, how long they were exposed out in the elements.
It's crazy.
Yeah, really well done, and just like that, they really captured just like they got it right in terms of like the geography and just the intensity,
The tone of it.
and even if like maybe like the final episode with like the trial wasn't completely accurate, it was still just kind of. I mean, I know now more about like how a nuclear power plant works than I did before. You know, I kind of get it with like the rods and the cooling and So
there is one last thing I want to say
Sure.
about it. There is one episode, I think it's the second to last episode, where there's this particular scene where it's the cleanup crew they have to go around killing all of the house pets.
Yeah.
I think you could go to doesthedogdie.com and figure out these times, but there's a certain scene that goes on way too long of these soldiers going to have to like just essentially it's just them shooting dogs and cats, and it's like I didn't need to see that.
Yeah,
like
it's a little rough.
It's that was a little gratuitous to me, and then I'm just warning everybody. There are points where that does happen.
You'll kind of know when that's happening.
Yeah, feel free to skip ahead. You're not going to miss anything.
We got to go kill the dogs now.
Yeah,
or on our way to go kill the dogs.
Cool. Yeah, it's like, oh, all right, that's going to be it. No,
Yeah. Hey,
now you're going to show 10 minutes.
You going to go kill the dogs?
Yeah. Oh, don't forget your codpiece, new guy, because you don't want to get radiation in your ding dong.
Yeah. I think that scene was more horrifying because I don't think they showed it too graphically, but it was just like the implications and the sound effects. So
I don't like that stuff. So, and I know a lot of people who don't. So, feel free to skip that part of the episode. It's like 20 minutes.
Skip it. You won't get the entire experience, but skip it.
Yeah. It's like riding the ET ride. You know, I don't need to see this.
Whatever you got to do to get through the day, man. You know, you got to skip a
whatever you
scene.
gotta do.
Skip a scene. It doesn't matter.
Jaya, what's your 17?
Number 17 is Fleabag season 2, the half-hour British comedy. I'd say I call it a comedy. Starring
Griefomedy.
written and starring Phoebe Waller-Bridge, a up-and-coming new talent across the pond. This was just a weekend fling with what it means to be human. I mean, it was incredibly funny, touching, short, but like no way and not ephemeral whatsoever. Just talked about just some really things that kind of spoke to my soul. I have to give it a ding just because, you know, they do the binge model release where it's like you get the entire season in one day, and this is a show that's sort of you could bang it out one day.
You need to savor the show.
Yeah,
I'm on the second to last episode of season 2, and then I think she said there's only going to be 2 seasons so far.
She said that, but
she also said that about season 1.
No one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone.
Yeah, and there's definitely moments where it's like I need to put away my phone. I want to experience this. It's like there's only so much of it, and it's so fucking good.
Yeah, that's all I can say about it, really. I mean, I did pick up like at Barnes & Noble. They had like all the scripts of both seasons, like in a book, like they kind of like this kind of Bible. Here, I'll get it.
Oh, this is really
it's a Bible-esque
really nice.
Hardcover book that compiles all 12 scripts of the show.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't know they did this.
I was at Barnes & Noble. You know, I go there occasionally.
You go to Barnes & Noble?
I go to, sometimes, when I have a day, I have a couple hours to kill, and when I'm waiting for the wife and kids just to kind of do some errands, I just go into the old Barnes & Noble, grab a Frappuccino, and peruse the old books.
That's great. This is really awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to rereading all those scripts. I haven't actually read. I mean, I think I've looked at some when they released them for like award seasons, but this is all of them. So don't look at the last page, Justin.
I'm
Spoilers.
I'm not looking at it. No. This is really nice though. It's a nice hardcover. Like, I don't know.
It's called The Scriptures.
I'm sad for it to end. I love all the wink and nod stuff. It's very well done to the audience.
Don't worry. She's co-writing a James Bond movie, so she'll be fine, and we'll get more of her.
Well, she also voiced a character in a McClunky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's just to pay the bills. If that lets her do some really kind of interesting stuff about humanity, then sure. That's all what these series are all about. Just like kind of, showcasing humanity.
It's not about lasers.
through the genres of.
It's not about robots. It's about humanity.
And Baby Yodas, apparently.
And Baby Yodas.
Justin, what's your number 17?
Oh, my number 17 of 2019 is Book Smart.
Book Smart!
Book Smart.
That was a delight. Go on.
Yeah.
Please, talk about Book Smart.
Yeah, it's great. Who directed this movie? I forget. It was...
I want to say Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde directed this movie. I don't know. Really great comedy.
Yeah.
I feel...
Two girls about to graduate high school, just kind of going out in one last... They kind of just start... They want to, like, experience party life.
The whole theme is they're book smart. They're, like, very intelligent girls. And
they weren't invited to the
focused
parties.
on colleges. Yeah, they weren't invited to parties. They never really... but they also, like, kind of walled themselves off from the rest of the school because they think everybody else is an idiot.
Which they were.
Which they were. But then they find out that all the people they thought were idiots are also getting into schools, and then they're just like, well, shit, we didn't have any fun in high school. We just focused on studying. So now it's like, let's cram our entire high school experience into one night. We're going to a party, and it's very much
a lot of parties going on that night.
Yeah, it's very much like Superbad, where it's like youth trying to, like, you know, get out there.
And the comedy comes from like the fish out of water scenarios, and just like, I don't know how to handle this situation with drugs or sex or whatever. Really well done though.
Yeah. There's one particular like narrative with a pizza delivery driver, which I found hilarious. I won't spoil it.
Yes,
that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. And
there's also a
payoff for that.
There was also a sequence where I think they were doing they were on some kind of hallucinations, and they just kind of thought they were like actually like fashion dolls, like Barbie dolls.
Yes,
with like impossible like physiology, and it cuts this kind of animated sequence of them just trying to like figure out what's going on, where they are, and how to escape this room they're at, and that was really well done.
Yeah, it's just a fun movie, and I was very disappointed that when I went to see this in the theater, it was me and then just like some other couple there, and that was it. Like I wish I could have seen this in a packed theater,
big crowd,
but I feel like I don't know. I don't think this movie got as much attention as it deserved, and I highly recommend Book Smart because it's just a really solid comedy, and the two women in it are hilarious. And I don't know, it's
played
it's
by Caitlin Dever and
Jonah Hill's younger
Beanie
sister.
Feldstein,
right?
Could be.
One of them is Jonah Hill's younger sister. Yeah.
I believe it's on Hulu now, so check it out, folks.
Yeah, it's really great. That's really all I have to say about it. It's
Okay.
comedy, so I don't really want to spoil any of the gags.
Not at all.
But Jaya, number 16.
Number 16 was The Lighthouse.
Ooh.
The Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe period piece about two lighthouse keepers in like the 1870s. This movie was grimy. This movie was sweaty and wet. This you needed a shower. I literally took a shower after watching this film, just because it was like the morning. I had to take a shower. Black and white has like kind of an old frame aspect ratio, like a square, so it's not like a wide screen. It's just like there's like black bars on the sides of the screen. All I can say is it's an art house film about like how it sucks to have a roommate. Really,
Awesome.
That's what it is.
That sounds great. I didn't have a chance to see this yet. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's just got some really cool imagery. Half of it is like, is this just a dream? I really love that Robert Pattinson, like, we all like, kind of like poo-pooed on him like during the Twilight films, and now he just kind of like took that money. Now he's just like kind of like going all these like kind of weird esoteric directors and just put me in something and make
he doesn't give a fuck.
Look ugly. Yeah,
and it seems like he just like he's gonna be the new Batman.
He's the new Batman.
Hates Batman.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah, he's like, if it bombs, I don't care. I'll just start doing porn. Or whatever.
Fuck you. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm really loving his energy.
To The Lighthouse. Just balls out weird, involved like, him getting into a fight with like seagulls, all kinds of just balls out banana town stuff with Willem Dafoe just like quoting like scripture about like the gods of the ocean and coming to smelt us all. Check it out. It's a short movie. It's by the same Robert Eggers, who also did that movie The Witch. The Witch, yeah. Kind of also like a period horror film. So check it out.
It looked really good. Like stylistically, it surprises me for you to say that it was short.
I believe it was only like 2 hours long. If that's short.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is short by today's standards. Just a movie like that, just looking at it, I'm like, this is going to be 3 hours long for some reason. I don't know why.
It's distributed by A24, which is like they're behind like anything really, all the really interesting, like obviously non-blockbuster films are coming out. They're all done by A24.
Yeah, they're killing it. Yeah.
Justin, what's your number 17?
Yeah, are we on 17?
16.
Number 16. My number 16.
This is why we need a PA just kind of handling all these logistics.
We do, yeah. Is Pen 15.
Pen 15.
Pen 15, the Hulu series by Maya Erskine and Anna Kunkel. It's about two young, again, it's kind of similar to Booksmart, but two young high school girls. Not even. Let me set the thing here. Is that they're these two comedians wrote the show, and they play their 13-year-old selves. But everybody else in the cast is actually 12 or 13. So it's like all these like little kids, but they are with makeup and stuff de-aged to look like their 13-year-old selves, but they're also clearly like 3 feet taller than everybody else. But in this world,
we have to get past that, and it's just like
it's hilarious. Mm-hmm. It's really well done. Like it's their first day of high school or junior high or whatever, and they're best friends. And the show is just a delight. It goes into, I don't know. There's very sincere.
It's all set in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes. Yeah.
So
the time when they were actually like, and this was like they're about maybe a couple of years behind when I graduated.
Time of Trapper Keepers and
boy bands,
TRL.
MTV was AOL,
simpler. Yeah, we didn't have goddamn phones in our pockets.
There's a delightful episode that's literally all about AOL Instant Messenger.
Ooh, I like that.
There's one of them has a secret admirer on AIM, and I had a lot of long distance relationships on AIM, and I spent a lot of time on AOL. So
I did too. I was like coming up with the way messages, and like
song lyrics or book quotes.
I think I was just like putting like quotes from like Pulp Fiction or something like that.
Yeah, that checks out. Really funny.
I did watch
nice
the pilot.
comedy.
I really enjoyed it. I just did not continue, just for whatever reason. Only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, but it's worth it though, because it's not nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. Like that definitely ropes you in, and that can appease some people. But there's a really nice story.
There's a heart to it.
There's a dynamic to their relationship too, because when you're that young, you have friends, and it's like at that age, your best friend could like not be your friend anymore the next year and never see them again. Like things are changing so constantly. There's some drama within their relationship, and it goes into a lot because Maya is Asian, and so there's like an episode where it kind of goes into like more of like her her family's like culture and like racism and stuff like that, dealing with that in high school and like all that stuff, where it's like, oh, it kind of goes into these like kind of murky, like kind of dark territories. It's not afraid to do that.
That's cool.
Bullying and stuff. And I don't know. It's really good. It's not like just something you'd see on like ABC.
Right.
Not to knock ABC, but just very
we can knock
polished
ABC.
And clean.
Fuck ABC.
Fuck ABC.
The American Broadcasting
Goldbergs.
Company.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you guys messed up Lost, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's ABC's fault.
ABC is they're Disney. They're ABC equals McClunky, basically.
Yeah, I think Disney's owned ABC openly since 1995 or something like that.
Pen 15, check it out on Hulu. I believe it's coming back for season 2 next year.
Yeah, I am super hyped. So
all right.
Jaya, what's your top?
My number 15 is Mr. Robot, the final season number 4 that just concluded a few weeks. Actually, I think not even a week ago, but last Sunday. And I got a lot of shit for this. I left it off my top 10 of the decade list, and I kind of want to revise that opinion, because this is Mr. Robot was one of those shows that you had not watched it, Justin, so I'll just kind of go off.
I will never watch the show.
You'll never watch it. That's a big mistake. One of many you've made.
It's too much. You know what? There's only so many hours in the day, Jaya.
So many much. About a computer hacker running this coalition of hackers trying to bring down like a big evil conglomerate called Evil Corp. He also...
I hate that.
Well, it's actually called E Corp, but like he has this thing where he just kind of like it's a very show that's set in the main character's perspective.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So like he kind of rewrites in his mind as Evil Corp, and even all the people talking about Evil Corp, even in scenes that he's not in, they call it Evil Corp.
All right, I love that. I'm back on board. I'm easily swayed.
Also starring Rami Malek, Christian Slater, BD Wong plays like the head of like the Chinese like government / the evil corporation. Anyway, one of the most visually compelling shows on TV. Just the framing, where they put people in the corners, or just the show loves ceilings, colors, music, the moments right before the title card of Mr. Robot, created by Sam Esmail, pops up. They're like kind of the most compelling of every episode. You just don't know where it's going to happen. Every season is written and directed by this guy named Sam Esmail.
So he's like on board the whole time. It's not like he's switching up directors and writers.
He's clearly like an acolyte and devotee of like good cinema. So anyway, this final season was all set during the Christmas time. It was kind of like going off like, like all those British sitcoms. You're like, oh, we're doing our final Christmas episode, Christmas special. Like The Office did this. I believe Black Books did this. But it was all kind of set during a compressed time period during the last couple weeks and leading up through Christmas. And it did something rare that if you were to rewatch the show from the beginning, it'll play on a whole different level. They had some revelations about the characters. The main character, Elliot, that
played by Rami
Malek,
okay.
Oscar Academy Award winning. Yeah. So
so
I'm looking forward to getting this box set and rewatching the whole thing from start to finish, because it plays a whole nother level now. So that's the mark of a great show, I think, that makes you want to rewatch it and gives you something new, a new gift to open like on Christmas Day.
Yeah. So, it's something that I've been hearing about for years now.
Yeah.
I have roommates who watched it, and I just the fact, I don't know if it's because it's on USA, and I just don't trust
kind of
that.
redefined what USA is about. Yeah, we associate USA with Burn Notice,
Weird Science,
and Suits.
Psych.
Yeah. And this was a show that kind of took them down. Yeah, Suits. White Collar.
No, there's a different one. It was like two names. It was with Zach from
Rizzoli and Isles.
Yeah, Rizzoli and Isles.
Yeah.
No, that's not Rizzoli and Isles. I think it's from the other guys, right? No, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Don't let the network fool you. I believe the first 3 seasons are now on Amazon Prime. If you want to borrow the box set, man, I'll be getting that next year whenever it comes out.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm down.
Yeah.
I will get to it. It's just
I get it.
Like House of Cards, and like I'm
don't
not
bother House of
interested.
Cards.
No,
now that's even more of a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Are you saying it's more of a House of Cards? It's the house has collapsed. I don't know. What number are we on?
We're on number 15, Justin. What was your number 15 to 2019?
All right, I'm going to break away from content that we've, like movies, TVs, books.
Please.
I'm going to talk about Let's Hang Out, which is a local wrestling show here in the Lehigh Valley that my friend Chris Reject and his company LVAC have been putting on for about a little over a year now. And it's basically an indie wrestling show. A lot of local wrestlers have performed. Orange Cassidy, who's now a big shot TV star, he performs on AEW on TNT. He's like a big shot now, but he still like performs or wrestles at these events. They're very punk rock. They're very like they take place at a lodge here in town, like an old like Polish.
It's called
Workers'
Sokol's
Lodge.
Sokol's. They also have a bowling alley there, I believe.
They also have a bowling alley. You have to be a member to get in. Mm-hmm. It's just been a really fun time. It's an event that you go to. It's like usually on Friday nights. It's cheap, cash only, no advance tickets. So it's like you fucking get there, you have the cash, and you get in. There's usually some bands afterwards. They had a really insane show at the Phillipsburg Mall in Phillipsburg, New Jersey called Let's Hang Out Mall Madness, where it took place in an old Foot Locker that was now closed. And that was surreal. And they're all just really, really fun. And Chris works really hard on them. I think when he did the first one, he said he was just going to do like one or two. And now I just went to one last night, the Holiday Hangout, and he co-owns a wrestling ring now. And all the turnbuckles have the LVAC Lehigh Valley Athletics
cool.
company or whatever. He runs LVAC Screen Printing, which is the best screen printing business within a 100-mile radius in Lehigh Valley.
Josh, you don't have to say that anymore. You quit, right?
No, I did quit. I did recently quit that working there.
Yeah. I went to one last year. I had a lot of fun. Got some good local food.
Santoro's is always there, slinging vegan dogs,
vegan treats,
lit.
Yeah,
local
coffee.
company.
Not to be confused with a joint coffee.
Not to be confused with joint.
Has been confused before. Let's hang out. Yeah, I would go again. I would hang out again.
You'd hang out again? Yeah. Really, lots of really dumb fun. Like, wrestling is so fun for me again. Like, I used to be into it when I was a kid. I'd watch Raw and, WCW. But like, I think the wrestling now, like it's wrestling for wrestling fans, where it's like we realize how kind of stupid this is and kind of dumb, and it's like
it's fake, they say, right?
Yeah, it was just like,
but the emotions aren't.
Make it fun. Like, don't try to convince people it's real. Just have fun with it. Like, for instance, the Halloween hangout that happened this past Halloween, Freddy Krueger had a 6-man scramble. It was hosted by Freddy Krueger, but he didn't show up. Like, at one point at the end of the match, all the lights went down, and the Dream Warriors theme song started playing, and the lights came up, and Freddy Krueger was in the ring, and all of the wrestlers had fallen asleep, and he made everybody rise, and then Freddy just like fucking killed everybody. And the way he won is because of Ophidian. This is this wrestler who's like kind of half snake. He hypnotized everybody and put them to sleep, and then Freddy took over, and Freddy appeared, killed everyone in the ring to the Dream Warriors theme song. It's like, this is so
that's badass.
Perfect. Yeah. A lot of fun stuff happens there. Like you said, good food. Follow LVAC on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Lehigh Valley Screen Printing. Lehigh Valley Apparel Creations is what it is, LVAC, and they're always behind every event. They co-run it with some other indie wrestlers. So yeah, check out. Let's hang out. It's always a good time.
Yeah, I believe it's a good thing to motivate people to go out and get out of your homes, go hang out and go be with people,
meet new friends,
go see some artists,
go
create art.
Get swept up in the
We get too addicted to this sweet content. We don't want to leave our homes sometimes.
Yeah, and he does release it on DVD, but go to it each one live, and it's just really, it's fun, and there's beer and food. Yeah, I agree. Get out of your house.
Yeah,
stop watching things.
Speaking of watching things, my number 14 was the AMC TV show Lodge 49.
Ooh, okay.
Season 2, also sadly the final season, as it was canceled shortly after the cliffhanger episode of season 2 aired. This was a show set in Southern California, in this kind of this lodge that had some religious basis, not quite religious, more just like what do you call it? What's that thing where you turn things into gold? Alchemy, alchemic origins, filled with incredible imagery, savage attacks on capitalism, a really strong brother-sister dynamic on the show, which is something you'll see too often. It's just like they're just looking out for each other, but they don't want to bang each other. Obviously, this isn't Game of Thrones, so this had a great flashback episode of the '60s, and this amazing 2-episode Odyssey to Mexico with Paul Giamatti playing this like fiction crime writer, and he was challenging a character to a dumpling eating contest, and he lost. Spoilers.
Spoilers for the dumpling contest.
This show actually it made my number 1 of last year, I believe. It was kind of more. It wasn't quite a hangout show. It had like a kind of a loose plot thread to it, but it reminded me more of like the show Terriers from FX, just this kind of sun-bleached show about people looking for something better in their life. So yeah, that was my number 14, Lodge 49. Check it out on Hulu and other streaming services.
I'll have to check it out. It is on Hulu then?
Season 1's on Hulu now.
Okay, because I just put AMC on my TV, and I was like, I saw it on there, and I was like, ooh, I'll have to start watching this.
It's a fun hang. Yeah, I really.
So you would even though it ended and there's no real resolution, you'd say it's still about...
No one's ever really gone, Justin.
No one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone.
Those are your top 14.
That's my number 14.
I keep saying top 14.
Yeah, it is the top.
That was your number 14.
Tip top.
The tippity top.
What was your number 14, Justin?
Chris Gethard's book, Lose Well. Which I read this year.
I read it as well.
Yeah, you read it as well. You read Lose Well as well?
Yeah, I read I Lose Well. I did lose it actually finishing it, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have fun here.
It's a great... Yeah, we have a lot of fun here on Amusing Ourselves to Death. Give us a like and a subscribe. Rate and review this podcast.
Please write a goddamn review.
Please. Whoever, I don't remember the name of your friend. I apologize. Who we saw the movie with?
Evan and Tim Hipster.
Said it was an extra step to review it. It's really Evan. Help us out.
Yeah, Evan, be a better brother than Tim.
You're giving giant notes already.
Yeah.
Just
I get the day every like Tuesday afternoon. Like, oh, this could have been better. And why don't you have us on as guests every week? Because we had better takes than you guys. And
okay. It's those kind of notes.
They just kind of want to like annex the podcast and take it over, I guess.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm open to it.
So they're just gonna steal your laptop in my apartment and just start recording. So.
Yeah, my specific laptop is the only thing that is keeping this thing going. But anyway, yeah, Chris Gethard's book, Lose Well.
Nonfiction account of just kind of his creative struggles, kind of coming up in the comedy world, and just kind of, I believe the thesis statement, not to it was just like you gotta fail more to really learn about
how to lose well.
How to lose well.
You can turn your failures into something positive. You learn things, and it's like, if you're gonna fuck it up big, and then see what happens.
He really went into detail about like starting up his public access show that was on New York City public access for many years, and just all those like I had to keep the sets in my car, and I had to find parking, and it was like a slog, and I wanted to quit every day, but I kept doing it. And
because the show originated at UCB. It was a live show, and then had a huge following there, insanely popular, and then he moved it from UCB to public access on Manhattan Neighborhood Network in New York. And then nobody followed him there. And he was basically starting again from scratch. So, he's had a lot of stuff happen to him, some tragic stuff. And, like, he's had a lot of struggles over the years with his personal life and his career. But, this book is a lot of that, and just turning it into just fuel to, like, it's like, fuck you, world. I'm going to be me. I'm not going to compromise. He's got a huge chip on his shoulder. He's a Jersey guy. Just released a comedy special called It's Taylor Ham and Cheese, I think it's called.
Oh, new one. Okay.
Yeah. It's specifically all New Jersey related jokes.
I had to hear about that one.
Yeah. It's very quick. I listened to it the other day. It's like 30 minutes. Very good. I do have a little excerpt here from the book. You
going to play it? Or are you going to read it?
I'm going to read it.
Read it.
This is also out on audiobook. When you're making things, you have to moondog that shit. Moondog is a performance artist from New York, I believe in like the 70s, and nobody really knows about him, but he made all this crazy art. You don't need to dress as a Norse warrior or pray to ancient gods, but you do need to find a way. When every venue slams its door in your face, you have to be ready to take it to the streets. When no one wants to help you, you have to help yourself and bring what you have to offer directly to the people. And most of all, you must scrub yourself clean of the need to justify the existence of your art. And I feel like that...
Some moving words there.
Yeah, it was very inspiring. I was on vacation in Myrtle Beach, reading this on the beach, getting sun poisoning, and I was very inspired. I was at a point where artistically I was feeling kind of low, which happens every couple weeks. But it very much just like lit a fire under my butt, and I was just like, God damn, like I can't get wrapped up in my own head. I just need to just keep going.
Yeah, and we kind of have the opposite problem here in the Lehigh Valley, where like venues aren't really turning us away. Like if we want to do a comedy show, like we have very generous places to do it.
We're very privileged. Yeah,
we just don't have the audience really. It's a shame. There's two colleges, more than two colleges. It's a college valley basically, and comedy is just still kind of like this thing. It's
how do you get the young people?
How do you get them out? Yeah, how do we build that audience?
Well, in New York, you have a lot of tourists and people who are just going out to have a good time, whereas here it's like, well, it's just the people who live here,
right?
I've had that problem. I grew up in a small town in upstate New York called Plattsburgh, and I booked DIY shows there with my friends for years and years and years and years, and it was a constant struggle of like finding a balance of like having an oversaturation of things. You throw an event like that once in a while, everybody comes. You start doing it every week, it's less special and less people come.
But if you're not doing it regularly, then you're not really building on your craft and learning and getting better at it. That would make people want to go see it if you're really good. I don't know.
It's eternally frustrating.
Yeah.
And
and we'll never be happy about it.
No, no matter what. We'll never be happy about it, ever. Like... when you decide to stay home and watch Mr. Robot, you're literally ruining our lives. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. We just feel bad.
It's tough to get out, to go out and do things.
It is great though that here in the Valley at like Steel Stacks and Brewworks and stuff like that, we do have a lot of space to kind of do whatever we want. And I've never had an idea really turned down by the Steel Stacks crew. Just like, yeah, that sounds weird as hell. Do it.
Yeah,
sure. And to be able to really, I feel like it is really a good incubator. And once in a while, you'll knock it out of the park with a good audience number. And all that's very random.
I think it has to do with like the weather half the time.
The weather
being on
most
the
of
East
the
Coast
time,
and wanting to drive and like the time slot.
The time slot too.
So.
And also just like I just moved here 5 years ago. There's some people who've been doing this here for a long time, and they'll get a draw. You got your Sam Beatles, you got your Tammy Cantalinas, Tammy of Tammy Tonight. Like people come out for them, and because they're extremely talented and they've been doing stuff for a while. You Matt Candios and you're Evan Stutz. This is all very niche local stuff. Local comedians, look them up.
Yeah, please all come on our show.
Please come. Yeah.
All 4 of them.
One episode. Yeah, all 4 of them one episode. It'll skyrocket.
We'd be drowned out. You know,
They'd
just be like doing bits and riffing for like good solid 2
chaos.
hours. It'd be chaos. Let's do it.
I'm down. Let's burn it all down. Chris Gethard's Lose Well.
Lose Well. Check it out, folks.
Yeah.
My number 13 of 2019 was the video game Return of the Obra Dinn, which, small caveat, it was actually technically a 2018 release on the PC. I did not play on the PC. I waited until it came to consoles, and I played it on the Nintendo Switch. It is it's set aboard a 1800 set. Is that the 19th century? 18th century pirate ship, a ghost ship. You work for an insurance company. Everyone's dead on board, and you're tasked to figure out what happened for the insurance company. And you have this magical stopwatch that lets you go back in time at the moment of a character of a body dying. Like you find a corpse, and like, how did this guy die? And you open up a little stopwatch, and it takes you back in time, and you go back to the exact moment where time is frozen, and you get to walk around in this whole kind of 3D 360-degree world. You walk around essentially on this ship and kind of just see, oh, this guy got shot. Let's go over down this hallway. Oh, this guy's firing the bullet. Oh, he's wearing the captain's the hat. He must be the captain. The captain killed this guy. And then you have a little book and says, oh, this guy, Seaman Smith was killed by Captain Jones, and you kind of mark that off. And it doesn't hold your hand. It really is a kind of like a bona fide detective game, which are hard to do in the video game format because we don't have this like infinitely powerful AI yet, where you can just ask people anything you want, like a real detective would.
We got pretty close in L.A. Noire.
L.A. Noire, but still, it's just like you only ask them like 5 things, and they're all like predetermined, and like you ask him like he's like, oh, ask him like where he was that day, and then like the guy just like rails in like, where the fuck were you that day?
Yeah,
you wife killing son of a bitch, and like I just want to ask where he was that day.
Yeah, I just want to see what's going on with him, and then the weird like facial technology where it's like, oh, tell if they're lying, and then it's like their upper lip just curls up in an unnatural way.
Yeah, they're just like scratching in their fingernails into their forehead. Like, I guess he's telling the truth. Yeah. But yeah, this was like had this kind of really unique visual style, kind of this like negative X-ray Tron-esque aesthetic. Great score that made you just kind of want to just ship off to the ocean and just look for the horizon. Time travel, 18th century ships. You learn anything about how these, like how the ships work, the crew members, and all 3 levels of a boat. Highly recommended.
Sounds
just
cool.
A good short game too. It takes you like a couple days maybe if you play like for 4 hours at a time, which I do.
Yeah,
4 hours.
There's a similar game that just came out. I just downloaded, Tacoma, where it takes place on a spaceship. But everything's like a hologram, and you have to figure out everybody's dead again, or something happened. You got to figure out what happened. It sounds very.
This is a new genre.
Sounds exactly. There was also some game that came out, some indie game a few years ago, where I think you just play a custodian on a spaceship where an alien has just killed everybody.
That sounds fun.
And you're just cleaning up blood. That's the whole thing. Anyway. That sounds cool. I'll have to check it out. What's the name of it again?
Return of the Obra Dinn.
Obra Dinn.
Obra Dinn is the ship name.
And it's out for multiple platforms.
All systems now, I believe, yeah.
Great. Awesome.
All systems go.
All systems go.
Justin, what's your number 13 of 2019?
My number 13 of 2019 is I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Excellent sketch comedy show that is on Netflix. Every episode's like 15 minutes long tops. It's insane. Tim Robinson used to write for SNL, and he was on, what's that Comedy Central show he did with his buddy there? Detroiters.
Yes.
Which I only saw a couple episodes of.
That show is fucking amazing.
It's really good.
It made my top 10 of the decade.
Yeah, I wanted to watch more of it. Just Comedy Central doesn't make things
easy to
I had to
access. I had to like watch like on like a private, what do you call it? Those like incognito tabs. Yeah. You just like do a 24-hour pass, and like gets you like you can watch it, but with commercials and all that. Yeah. But yeah, I Think You Should Leave. Actually, it's my number 3.
Okay.
So
I figured it'd be on there.
Yeah, it broke the rules of sketch comedy. I mean, as someone who's done sketch, we kind of got into the tired rhythm of like, what's the game? Let's do 3 to 5 escalating game moves, and then find the tag. And this just did not use that playbook whatsoever. No. But it still managed to be incredibly funny.
It's just
kept pushing and pushing and
how
pushing.
Can we heighten this to even more insane levels? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he plays an excellent guy who just will not admit he's wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Like a lot of his characters like that, where it's like, It reminds me of like a Larry David, where it's like, yeah, just keep digging that hole, but he's using like a fucking like, big bobcat thing, and he's just digging to the center of the earth until he melts. It's
the one with the party and the gift wrap.
yeah.
That was just the
Give my wife
next. I use
fucking receipt,
right. Yeah, the receipt. Yeah,
receipt,
I guess use an extra slice of toilet paper.
Yeah.
The baby of the year, the Instagram sketch with Vanessa Bayer, the motorcycle sketch.
That one was beautiful.
Yeah.
The honk if you're horny.
Honk if you're horny. The one guy in the focus group. Yeah, there's. To go into details, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah.
Season 2 coming out soon.
Is it really?
Yep. Cool. We got approved for season 2.
Got approved for season 2.
So they're doing it, and I'd love to do an episode on I Think You Should Leave.
I watched the entire season like twice in like 2 days. I was like, I finished it. Like, I have to watch that again.
How many episodes is it? Like 6?
6 or 5 or 6.
Like I said, they're like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very quick. Mm-hmm. It's just hilarious. Yeah, it does have an energy to it that can be kind of polarizing and like and exhausting if you're not into that sort of thing. I have a couple friends who watched it and did not enjoy it, but it's worth giving a shot, and it's easily digestible.
Absolutely.
So
if you want to laugh, check out I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, I think you should leave.
Get out. Not you. You liked it. I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
My number 12 of 2019 was Succession Season 2, the HBO drama about the Roy media empire.
I'm on episode 2 of season 2.
Okay, I'll tread lightly with spoilers,
okay.
But I think this is the next Game of Thrones. I've said this I've been saying this.
You've said it on a few episodes of the pod.
I'll get this later, but I don't believe that shows on Netflix or Amazon or some Hulu shows that release things like I believe that when you dump a season on a weekend, it doesn't qualify as television. It's a good web show in a way. It's we watch on the laptop, but I really think that inherent in the definition of television is a weekly release of content, and because that builds a relationship with you and the show itself and the characters, and so I think that it has that's what made Game of Thrones so popular. Was like a week to week finding out who's gonna up on the Iron Throne, who's gonna get killed this week, and Succession has that kind of same framework of like who's gonna end up running the company, and you have all the different vying factions of power in the family. I
love having to schedule time for this, where it's like, oh no, I get to sit like Sunday nights. I'm gonna sit down.
Right.
This is when the show's on. I'm gonna watch it. It was like with Watchmen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have as much of a problem with. Don't have to go off on a tangent, but
Please.
Shows like I Think You Should Leave coming out in one big clump like that.
No.
That's fine to me, but a narrative show like that, I agree with you. Like, make it week to week, like whatever.
And having episodes as a distinct unit, when you can remember, oh, that's the episode where this happened or that happened. But with streaming binges, you it's like one big clump,
Yeah.
They're essentially, they even call themselves, we're just doing like one 10-hour movie here. And
it's so much that because with binging, I feel like, and I've done it, we all do it, but I don't absorb it as much.
No, not at all.
And
they don't make it. They make it just to be this one kind of amorphous clump that you just kind of. It's like I watched it. I can have a take on it for like a few days after the weekend I watched it, and then that's it. But with these weekly releases, it's like a thing. There was a show this summer. I was talking to my friends about it every week. Like, oh, you see what happened in Succession. You see what Kendall did. You see what Roy did. You see what Shiv did. And also this show, they figured out like the great TV is like all your characters in a room together having an event where they're all have stakes and they all have to be there or don't want to be there. But either way, they're all in a room together and they're all bouncing off each other, as opposed to some shows where it's like we're going to cross-cut between different locations of our main cast because it's easier for scheduling, and maybe there's like a thin thematic link between these two.
Development season 4.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
It's a character show, and you want to see these characters interact, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and season 2 went to some new heights. I won't say too much, but
Kendall's just narrative.
Kendall's like
the tragic.
Yeah, he's like the heart of the show, and
Greg's the hero.
We
can all agree.
Greg and Tom.
The fucking rise of Greg so far has been really fun.
Yeah, and even the maturation of what's the younger son? Kieran Culkin. Roman. Yeah, his character goes to some new heights this year, and essentially like this season 2, you see it kind of focuses more on the daughter Shiv, and which is kind of a fun idea. Where season 1 was kind of more about Kendall, season 2 is ostensibly about Shiv, and I could see season 3 be about Roman. If we do a season on each sibling, or even if we lead up to like a final season on Logan Roy himself, the show
they just Godfather it, and it's just Logan Roy as a
young man. Or
I don't know if I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell if the show has like another 1 year in it or another like 7 years in it, but it's very fascinating. And
it seems like they know what they're doing and they have a vision, and they'll end it when they need to end it.
Yeah, and it comes the guys who write it, the guys and girls, they come from a comedy background, which helps.
Yeah, there's some really funny moments in the show.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
What's the oldest brother's name?
Connor.
Oh yeah, Connor. Yeah, just his whole
running for president.
Yeah. It just
It's
whole
timely.
vibe.
Yeah,
I love he's just like so anti-conflict. I definitely relate with that a lot.
I'm
He's
like water. Yeah,
whatever you guys want to do, I'll support you. But he seems like he's the one who's least vying. Well, he is still vying for Logan's love, like they all are. That therapist scene in season 1.
Oh yes.
I don't want to
on the ranch
touch on it too much because I think we're gonna do an episode on Succession.
Yeah,
season 1.
I'd be down. I think right before season 3 comes out, it'd be fun to do.
Maybe do 1 and 2 together.
Yeah.
So it'd be that whole episode was like, and I didn't really think of it until you mentioned it. It's like, oh yeah, this is an event. Everybody's every episode's
there's
like
parties, or there's fundraisers, or there's
meetings,
or people. The first season it started with all in the hospital when their father had the heart thing or the brain thing, whatever. He had the health thing.
Yeah, he had a health thing.
Yeah. I would say season 2 only builds on that, and it's my number 12 of the year. Justin, what's your number 12 of 2019?
Oh my God, I had a really good burrito.
Yeah.
In 2019.
Where'd you get it?
I got it at Cali Burrito in Allentown,
right by Dorney Park.
Right by Dorney Park. I think it's still by Dorney Park. They moved locations the past couple of years. I know they're by a Yakko's now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Really good burrito. I believe it had mac and cheese in it.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
so mac and cheese wrapped in a burrito. Was there meat in it?
No, there's no meat.
No meat, just mac and cheese.
Cali Burrito tends to come up with these weekly special burritos. It's not an item on the menu.
Okay.
But they just come up with this.
The secret menu.
It's the burrito of the week.
Okay.
Burrito of the day or whatever. I think it's by the week. But anyway, I had some friends in town. Chris and Shannon were in town.
Oh, and, guests on the pod.
Yeah, guests on the pod. We went to Cali Burrito. They'd never been there before. And I was like, yeah, let's go get some dinner. And it was actually a funny story because Chris, he ordered some fish tacos. And you get 2 or 3 tacos in the fish taco order. And he ordered, he's like, hey, can I get 5 fish tacos? And then the girl at the counter meant that as 5 orders of the fish taco meal. So anyway, we sat down and she brought out all of these trays. And I was like, because they ordered their food, and then she was just like, okay, that'll be $45.95 or whatever. And I was like, Jesus, like, what? I was like, I think he ordered way too many, but I didn't say anything. And he just paid. He didn't question it.
He's like, Pennsylvania prices. Yeah.
So anyway, we sat down, and my giant burrito came, and then also like 5 orders of fish tacos full with chips, like their house-made chips there.
So it was a good burrito.
It was a really good burrito. Yeah, it had I believe it had mac and cheese, potatoes. I took a picture of the board and I was trying to find it, but I think it's gone now. I think it's lost to the ether. It was like hot sauce, tater tots, mac and cheese.
Oh geez.
Pickles, I believe, were in there. It was a very
off to the races.
Yeah, I usually don't get their special burritos because they're too much. But I
just
was
when they
kind of
they let the cooks just experiment, like go wild, do something you never thought of before. Just be legends, man.
Yeah, be legends. Yeah, they're very much. I think they all smoke weed there. They're very much like it's a burrito you could eat when you're stoned. But it was really good. That was my top burrito.
Nice.
Of 2019.
Check out Cali Burrito.
Yeah,
sponsors of the show.
Go ahead.
My number 11 of 2019 was the movie Us, the horror film by Jordan Peele. Playing with doppelgangers. They look like us.
You and Aaron and I saw this together.
We all saw it together. Comfy Seat Theater in Allentown. All I really had to say was spooky as hell. That last shot, great twist. Give me more. Just give this the fucking movie. Work like gangbusters. The whole world they built. That twist. The ramifications of that twist. Yeah.
I could have done less with the exposition. Yeah. At the end, I think they explained a little too much. I kind of wanted a little bit more left to the imagination, but it was very effective.
Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, the main actress, she's always someone that I'm looking. She's like kind of been breaking out. She really popped in this. She was 12 Years a Slave. She did play Maz Kanata in the McClunky sequel trilogy.
Oh boy!
And she also had a pretty great role in Black Panther, another McClunky-esque film.
Yeah, McClunky parallel.
The McClunky Empire.
Yeah, the McClunky extended universe.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I'm looking forward to seeing whatever this guy does next, obviously. And Tim Heidecker had a great supporting role, unexpected.
Yeah, I can't not laugh at Tim Heidecker.
Mm-hmm. Something about him like walking around that robe.
So good. Yeah, just talking about his boat, and then just like it was a horrifying scene, but it was like there's a point where I think I'm supposed to be scared of him, but I just kept laughing. Right. It was so funny,
which I think is intentional.
Yeah, Jordan Peele rides a very good line of like. Just like this is scary, but also kind of like funny.
Like compared to Ari Aster, who did Hereditary and Midsommar, like these are horror films I would gladly watch again.
Yes.
Like Get Out, I've seen several times.
Fun concepts. They remind me of just Jordan produced the new episode or new season of the Twilight Zone on CBS streaming,
right,
which was decent.
I watched one episode. I enjoyed it.
I paid for CBS All Access for 2 months just to watch that whole thing.
Justin, what's your login info? Do you mind?
I deleted
on Mike.
I got rid of it.
You got rid of it.
Yeah, all that was left was Star Trek, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. But his movies are like very long, like Twilight Zone episodes in a way.
Yeah.
You can tell he's very influenced by that kind of stuff. M. Night Shyamalan, but better. As far as like the twist ending stuff, but it's not all about that.
It works without the twist.
Works without it, yeah. Yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed that. Good concepts, creepy. Very creepy.
Give me more.
Give me more.
What's your number 11 of 2019?
My number 11 of 2019, I would think have to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Jaya.
Ooh. That was my number 4.
I'm scalping them. I'm getting in there early.
Yeah, all right.
We can still talk about them if you want to.
No, we'll talk about it now.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the latest by Quentin Tarantino.
His ninth film,
was very good. I don't know if we talked about this before. I knew nothing about the Manson murders or...
so that shot of Cielo Drive signpost meant nothing to you?
There were people around me oohing and ahhing and being like, and I was like, what are they, what's going on?
It's a street sign. What do you want?
Yeah, is there an incel in here? What's happening? I had no idea. So by the time I was just like, oh, this is just about Leo and Brad's characters just being best friends.
It's a good friendship movie.
And it just kept happening.
Yeah.
Great friendship movie.
Yeah.
But then the last 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is where it's going on. Because early on, you see Charles Manson. And I was like, oh, they're just throwing everybody in there. Because you also see Bruce Lee. And it's like, it's very... I was like, oh, this is just a movie. It's a love letter to L.A.
Right.
in this time.
So then what do you think about all the Sharon Tate scenes where she's just off on her own, seeing movies and, getting pictures taken?
I had no clue. I was just like, oh, they're just really...
Okay, all right, yeah.
I didn't know that she was killed by Charles Manson.
Gotcha.
I didn't know that she was married to Roman Polanski. I had no idea what this movie was setting up.
You just saw Tarantino, Brad Pitt, Leo DiCaprio. I'm in.
Quentin Tarantino, like I'm absolutely all in. And the scene at the end where they're going to Italy to film the westerns.
Right.
And I was like, this movie's probably wrapping up soon. It's like,
time jump.
Their friendship's kind of dividing a little bit. And I was like, okay, yeah. All right, this is just a movie about a friendship kind of maybe in the twilight of its life. And then, holy fuck, it did the audience pop for like the last 10 minutes of this movie. It was very satisfying for me.
I love that montage towards the end when they get back from Italy and like the Rolling Stones Out of Time starts playing and like all the street signs start turning on. Like the Taco Bell and like the Cinema Dome and the Arcway and just...
Well, and it starts showing like the date and time it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are they doing this?
That's why, because like they were building up, like they were playing with history. Like
I didn't know.
Yeah, if you didn't know, I'm sure
it's
it played very differently.
Kind of revisionist
but,
movie, not to give it away, but
I mean, we all just kind of assume like, okay, they're going to show the Manson murders. That's why we've been seeing Sharon Tate. But then he just kind of turns on his head and it's like, a better world was possible if my characters lived down the street from Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
If Leo DiCaprio was drunk and drinking margaritas out of a mix.
I don't know. I don't remember what it is. It doesn't matter. It's a thing.
Words. Yeah. And it was an extended weekend to spend with these two buddies. The great payoffs at the end with the flamethrower. The tension in that the ranch sequence.
That was very good.
Yeah.
going to see that old. I assumed he was dead, but then the fact that like no, he's just drugged out of his mind or just old and blind and senile,
Right.
and he's all in. Because you think he's just gonna be tied to the bed, or something?
Yeah.
It's like no,
he's taking his nap. He's got to take a nap before he can watch TV.
Yeah. Just it's
Great,
really
great love letter cinema in Hollywood, and
his movies feel like his movies. And he's one of the last.
he's got a way of
directors.
dialogue that like people have tried ripping off for years, and they can't quite crack, and they're
Yeah, hey,
it's not him.
I've been a fan since
I tried
Reservoir
it,
Dogs.
making movies in high school. Like, I want to make movies like Quentin Tarantino and just like having, what's the formula? You just have violent people talking about pop culture. That's it. And then it comes off as just like hack.
Yeah,
So
he did it, and he got to it first.
He did it.
And there was a void there, and he filled it.
Yep.
Yeah, really impressive. Looks great. Brad Pitt is in the fucking like he's amazing in this movie. I don't know.
When he takes off his shirt, you can just kind of feel like the moisture in the room just kind of like just increased by.
Oh yeah, definitely. Absolutely. He's on that roof.
Yeah.
There's weird implications that he killed his wife.
Yeah,
Which is weird, but I'm not going to think about it too much. Because I'm not this guy's friend. Like, whatever. He's a fictional character. I don't need to go on Twitter and yell about that.
Not at all. Yeah, he did not exist in real life.
Did not exist in real life.
Yeah.
I wish he had. I do.
People do
I wanna
horrible
hang out with
things.
this. I do want to hang out with this guy for a day. Seems like
if I have any
time
leaks to my roof, I definitely want to give Brad Pitt a call.
Oh my god, yeah. Can't really think of anything else to speak of this movie. I don't want to go too much into it for spoilers, but check out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Believe the hype. It's my favorite one that he's done, I think, since Inglourious Bastards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
My number 10 of 2019 was Mindhunter Season 2.
Ooh.
David Fincher's slow descent into madness, showing as the FBI tries to define what serial killers are in the 70s and 80s. This show's unlike anything on.
It's
I know I went.
It's not a documentary,
right? It's based on like real people, real transcripts.
The main character in the movie is the guy who wrote the book.
Exactly.
It's based off of the transcripts or whatever.
I mean, this is not like a very violent show. It's all the violence is really kind of confined to like photographs or just descriptions of serial killers.
Opening shot of the
the pilot. I'll give you
the pilot is pretty violent. But don't go into this movie expecting no violence.
I mean, that's just a pilot. Like you gotta hook the kids. Show them a little violence, show them little titties, and then you'll pick up your show. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's pilot 101, really.
There's a chalkboard with titties and violence, and they check those off.
Yep.
And then they give it to a chimp, and it goes into a room with two other chimps, and David Fincher whips them with a bullwhip until they come out with Mindhunter.
That's the process.
Yeah, that's how they made Zodiac. That's why it took so long.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's really just about like men and women sitting around tables talking about death and process. And but I can't turn it. You can't. This is not something you can watch half-assed or like half on your phone or just Yeah,
I would say good to watch around the Halloween season.
Yeah,
I like to watch Zodiac around that time. It's just like or a rainy day. Just drink some hot scalding coffee and watch Mindhunter. Snuggle up.
And they're doing this whole like long game with this the bind, torture, kill killer who's based in Kansas, I believe, with like their
BTK
end of each like teaser before the title sequence, like just had like a very quick like 30-second to a minute long scene with him just kind of becoming who he is or just like almost getting caught or whatever.
I knew nothing about BTK, and I still kind of don't know a lot.
Yeah, and it seems like they have a plan for what they're going to do with him, and I believe he wasn't even caught until like 2005. And the show is still like in the early 80s.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they do a time jump.
They could.
It seems like they're building up to some kind of confrontation with him, but it's tricky with these kind of shows because it is based in a reality. So it's like we already kind of know how these things play out. I'm purposely not looking any of this stuff up so I can kind of experience it in this way. Fincher's really good with serial killer stuff because I think he is a serial killer.
Probably.
I feel like he makes movies just to distract himself from skinning people in his basement.
I mean, one of his famous quotes is like, "I believe fundamentally all people are perverts." So he knows human nature, and
he does.
I hope that he gets to do more movies soon. I believe he actually is working on a film for Netflix about the writing of the film Citizen Kane. But he's always just someone I've always just been kind of ever since like Fight Club and Seven. As a young budding aspiring filmmaker, I was like, this guy gets it. He's all dark and humanity and gets in the nitty gritty, which is not a swear word. Nitty gritty.
It's not a swear word. It's not a racial thing. I looked it up after last episode. So.
Plus, also they shoot Mindhunter all in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So a little PA pride there. So, yeah, that's my number 10.
If you want to shoot something bleak as hell, shoot it in Pennsylvania.
Exactly, where time has stood still.
Oof.
Justin, what's your number 10 of 2019?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
I just have such a list of things. I want to say my number 10. We're only on 10.
We're on 10.
Jesus Christ. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. The album Say Goodbye to Hollywood by musician Matt Hall is one of my best friends.
Oh.
He is the owner and proprietor, co-founder of Trashberg up in Plattsburgh. He released a really good punk rock album called Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Matt's been playing for years under the name Marco Polio. He's on all of his stuff's on Spotify. It's really good. Matt has a very interesting look at the world, and he's very intelligent guy. Knows his shit. Grew up in Syracuse. Kind of a hard life, and then he moved to Plattsburgh, and has been doing just like nonstop creative stuff ever since. He's always inspired me. I've been on tour with him. We've hung out multiple times. I met him in 2011. Well, I met him earlier than that, but I think we really became close in 2011 when I was I hit rock bottom in my life, and he swooped in there. But yeah, no, he released a really killer album under his own name.
Oh, all right.
This year called Say Goodbye to Hollywood. It's on Spotify. Check it out. Really well done. Recorded in a proper studio. Usually he would record his own stuff, but yeah, this studio in Plattsburgh, New York. I forget the name of it. But it sounds great. Just thematically really good. A lot of friends are playing on it. Our friend Sam Egan, I believe, plays drums on it, maybe bass.
Nice.
Not positive. Just a real ripper of if you love a good punk rock, hard rock aesthetic, it's good. I might I'll insert a clip of it right now. That's a little clip of the song.
That was some great music.
Yeah.
I have not heard it yet, but I'm sure it was great.
We talked about it. We listened to it just now.
Yeah.
All right. That's that's
cool. Say goodbye to Hollywood.
Say goodbye to Hollywood. Speaking of right after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, going for a theme.
That's kismet right there.
I'll pass it along to you now.
My number 9 of 2019 was the film The Farewell, the 2019 film starring Awkwafina, where her character learns her grandmother is about to die, and the rest of the family does not want to tell her grandmother that she's about to die, and she kind of has this kind of reckoning with her family, and she schedules a visit to China, and it just kind of examines just the ways of culture differ from the United States and China in terms of death and elders and legacy, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander, or just like what's good for like the greater good. This movie really wrecked me. It was very sad, but also very uplifting. Some great musical sequences. The grandmother was just like just a treat just to watch. I don't want to say too much else about it. It's just a really fun, good. Like I think the director Lulu Wang, it was like her first real feature film, and I can't wait to see what she does next.
It looked really good. I didn't have a chance
also
to see it.
Also directed by A24. So
they're knocking it out of the park.
If you see A24 like on the poster or the trailer, like just
it's worth looking into.
Run, don't walk. So that was my number 9 of 2019. Justin, what was your number 9 of 2019?
My number 9 of 2019. Yeah, Little Women. Greta Gerwig's new movie, directed it. Adapted from the novel Little Women. I think they've remade this movie a handful of times now. I've never seen any of the iterations of it. I've never read the book. But it was a delightful experience with some good friends of mine.
Yeah,
it was you and Christy and Aaron.
It was a fun day.
Yeah, fun day. Just saw it a couple days ago.
I would have liked to. Yeah, it was fun day.
Okay. What?
I was saying it was a lot in one day. You know, we went to a bookstore in Kutztown, and then we went back to see the movie at like 9:45.
Had some dinner and played pool. And
yeah. I would have liked to have like a little decompression session about the movie after, but we all kind of just like, it's midnight, we got to go.
Right. Yeah. So. It was a late showing. We sat in comfy chairs. Same theater we saw Us.
Yeah.
In. I thought it was just a really nice movie that didn't have anything to do with robots or lasers.
Surprise guest actor.
Bob
Odenkirk shows up like
the father.
Yeah, and his first line is like, "Oh, my little women." And
there was
I think we all just sat up. We're like, "Oh, this is
all four of us sat up." You shoved your fist into the air triumphantly,
fist pump, and
then we all applauded.
Yeah,
just the four of us.
Everyone was like, "Why are these guys laughing?"
No, it was incredible. Incredible cameo. Yeah, it just really looked great. It really brought me back to it. It was a nice holiday movie, I would say. It made me feel emotions.
Yeah, it was a movie about siblings and like the rivalries between them and futures and goals and what's expected of us versus what do I want.
Right.
It really played with time, and it was a very non-linear storytelling. You kind of jumping back and forth between moments.
Yeah. Did you see any of the previous version of these movies?
No,
okay, I wonder if they do that.
I don't know
if that happens in the book or anything, but I don't know.
So I kind of jumping around time. So I like to call it Little Wimamento.
Great.
Little Wim. Nobody likes that joke. I think it's.
I don't know if it's a joke.
I don't know. Yeah. I think it reads better than actually saying it out loud.
Yeah,
maybe.
I like it. You know, I appreciate the effort and the vision behind it.
Folks, I'm bad at comedy. I'm a fraud and a hack, and they have not discovered it yet, but now they will.
No, it is. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, Little Women, fun time in the movies. Go check it out.
All right, cool.
My number 8 of 2019 was Watchmen S1, season 1 of the HBO drama Watchmen, a sequel series to the landmark 1980s comic book by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. This was written by Damon Lindelof and a very talented slew of writers and directors and cast with Regina King, Gene Smart, and Jeremy Irons leading the cast. We did a whole episode on Watchmen Season 1 with guest star Evan Williamson, which should be out by now.
Yeah, it would have come out a couple days ago.
So I don't know how much I really want to go into it. I just want to say this show was electric. It was fire. It's medicine. It was about something. It was about race and law and order and police and legacy and trauma. It was like all that broccoli and kale of good things we should be talking about.
Yeah, it's not just a comic movie. I feel like it's getting written off as that by people who aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, it was wrapped in the waffle cone of a superhero genre that kind of made the medicine go down, if you want to use that analogy.
I think it's a great analogy.
Yeah, thank you. It's very at the top of my notes here. It's like to go into the waffle cone analogy. One of my favorite shows of the year. I don't know if I want season 2 or not. I think it ends in a really good place. Like, if that was it, fine.
I think it's much like True Detective season 1, where I think even if they do make season 2 and it's inferior, it doesn't matter. We still have that season 1. It's a nice story. It's wrapped up. It's not like it ended on a cliffhanger.
No.
And then they fuck it up later, like Lost or these other shows, in my opinion. It's really good, and I like the things it proposes and discusses, like about racial inequality and hate. There's more to it than it's not just people in capes. In fact, I don't think really anybody wears a cape. So
she has like her sister night costume. Regina King is like
a cloak.
Out of a cloak,
like a hood.
I was rewatching the series, and she had like a mohawk in the first episode.
Oh yeah,
yeah, but then she just kind of flattens it down or whatever. I mean, that's what I love about the pilot process, as opposed to like let's just make 10 episodes all in a row. It's like you have these like little things that like maybe they're going for something, but they didn't quite work, so they kind of just like quietly nixed it. So
yeah.
So that was my number 8 of 2019. Check out our episode on Watchmen.
Cool.
Justin, what was your number 8 of 2019?
I think my number 8 of 2019 was another book that I read by Blythe Robertson called How to Date Men When You Hate Men. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. She goes into just like her dating experiences, and it's a very funny book. She's
I love a good funny book.
She's really good. I don't know. She's like, I like her writing style. She has a really good theory of like how she goes. There's a whole chapter about how Tom Hanks is the villain of You Got Mail, which is her favorite movie of all time. And yeah, it's just really good. Like as a person who has dated women, like it gives me a nice perspective of it. I feel like I don't read enough feminist literature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I saw her appearance on the special without Brett Davis, which is a public access show that took over after Chris Gethard left. And she was kind of talking about her book, and then it sounded interesting, so I looked it up, downloaded the audio or the Kindle version of it, read it. Yeah, it's just a really nice book at modern dating.
Yeah. What are they saying the best methods of dating are these days? Online dating?
She goes into different aspects of it. Yeah. I just enjoyed it. Like, I don't know if, because I read it back in March, I think. So I don't have, it's not really fresh in my memory, but it's a quick read.
I believe I saw it. It's like it almost fits in the palm of your hand. It's like almost like a little, like not a pamphlet, but it's a small book.
Yeah, it's
not a door stopper.
No, it's not a door stopper by any means.
So it just shines some light on like maybe some aspects of toxic masculinity.
Yes,
just kind of shine light on that, and hopes that we can do better.
Like exactly. Yeah, how can we do better?
Yeah.
And it's good to look at a perspective from a gender that is not
right.
It's not us.
Absolutely,
So I highly recommend that. It's just and it's enjoyable and it is funny, and she has a nice voice as far as.
She was the audiobook. Okay.
Yeah, there's an audiobook. Yeah.
Love a good audiobook.
Well, I mean, her writing voice. I didn't listen to the audiobook. I don't know if there is one. But yeah.
Cool.
So that's mine.
My number 7 of 2019 was Parasite, the South Korean film by Bong Joon-ho. All I can really say is it's about a family of con artists, and that's all I can really say about it. It's best to be experienced going in blind, not knowing anything about it. There's a fun teaser trailer if you want to check it out. It kind of give you kind of the tone of the film. But this was one of the more delightful, thrilling movies I've seen in a long time. Could not stop. I mean, I can't stop watching it. It's a movie.
Can't stop, won't stop.
You can't stop. You can't pause the film when you're watching it in theaters. Incredible performances, visually engaging, full of twists and surprises. Go into a cold. If you see Parasite pop up on your screen or box or whatever in your hand, just go check it out.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
I've missed every local screening of it.
Okay. I believe it's still playing in Emmaus as we speak.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing good things.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's your number 7 of 2019?
I think my number 7 was also Fleabag.
Fleabag, okay.
Which we touched on. Yeah, and I'm about to finish. I love the direction it's going in, and I think we said enough about it.
It's all right, we'll move on. Yeah, okay. Well, then my number 6. So I'll just keep going.
Yeah, let's keep
back
going,
and forth. Uncut Gems.
Okay.
By the Safdie brothers. Starred Adam Sandler as a diamond dealer in New York City. Set in 2012, dealing with uncut gems and basketball and betting and artificiality. This movie reaffirmed my faith in cinema. I saw this. I believe this was the first film I saw after Star Wars McClunky.
I was about to say that, yeah.
And I was feeling really down. I was like, what am I doing?
Well,
why am I into this stuff?
Jai, when you're kept in a cell and fed nothing but gruel with a gun to your head, for like, let's say 2 hours and 20 minutes, and then you leave this cell.
You get some freedom.
And you get some freedom, and you just go and you just like eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
You know?
It could have been any cheeseburger.
Could have been anything.
It doesn't matter what it was.
But you're saying, though, that this movie stands on its own, even if you hadn't seen a McClunky beforehand?
I think so. If I saw this back in the summer, still, I think it would have been very high on my list. Adam Sandler was just incredible. It captured New York in a really kind of... It's almost like it wasn't a film. It was just like they were just following him with a camera, and as you just interact with people,
it seems kind of like a
very grimy.
film.
Yeah, and the ones like you kind of want to take a shower afterwards.
Yeah. Didn't he threaten if people don't go see this movie that he was going to intentionally make a terrible movie like Adam Sandler?
I hope so. I hope this movie does very well. Unfortunately, I feel like some of the audience scores are just like a lot of people went into this thinking, oh, he's just playing like a Billy Madison character, and then they this is very much not that.
It's like, what movie are you seeing?
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah. Do you
maybe
not
they'll
do
watch
any
Billy
research
Madison?
into anything? You know, I'm
I
not
don't
saying you have to
know.
watch the show or read reviews, but just like some kind of semblance of like genre. Anyway, great techno soundtrack. Really had a nice book ending of images. Kevin Garnett, the basketball player, one of the better like performances by an athlete outside of Space Jam.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry. And it's about value and what the number we put on things. Gems, sports, money. The final act was basically giving everyone in the theater a heart attack, just how intense things got.
Okay.
And
is it like a slow earned build to that, or is it the movie pretty
the whole
manic
movie
the whole
is
time?
the whole movie like you have like a tachycardic heart rate. You're just like, okay, you just kind of elevated.
It sounds like it. If they're just a
see him
camera
making
following
bad
him.
decisions, is
Yeah.
like he's putting bets on top of bets on top of bets, pawning things, auctioning. There's a gem covered Furby briefly in the movie.
Oh, wow. Shout out
yeah.
to Furby. It's friend of the show.
Yeah, go check it out. That's all I can say. It's so good.
Great.
Justin, what's your number 6 of 2019?
I'm going to say my number 6 of 2019 would have to be Trashberg Comics. Yeah, it's
Sure. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No.
What? What is it? No, say
it's
it.
Good. It's good.
Say
It's
what
good.
you're- no, say what
good,
you're gonna say.
Good. Local presence on the show. We got it. Yeah. No. Please.
Hey, I got to plug my friends.
Plug your friends.
You say fuck my friends?
Yeah. Fuck your friends.
No, Trashberg Comics is, of course, an indie comic book. We're a few issues into it now, done by the comic collective Trashberg, based out of Plattsburgh, New York. It can be ordered online. Look up Trashberg Comics with an X.
I do like what I see in Trashberg. It's just kind of
Yeah.
really kind of calling attention to some of the problems you guys are having in the city of Plattsburgh, New York.
Yeah.
And but in a funny way.
It is funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is kind of like locally, if you don't, I don't know. I feel like the web series and the podcast, the Trashcast, are very local, whereas anybody can enjoy this comic because it's just it's short stories
Just
illustrated
good
by
stories and artwork and characters. Yeah, I hear you.
It's a nice little comic. It's about a quarter the size of a normal comic. Yeah, it's just check it out. Trashberg Comics. It's just got to support the indie
Absolutely.
creators.
Yeah. They're out there doing
I am
God's work.
biased. I am
Yeah.
biased.
We're all biased in some way.
We're all biased. Yeah, I'm just trying to cut through the fucking shit of the what I mean. Yeah, we could talk all we want about shit that people already know about.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just like saying, here's this thing that made by these parent corporations and
Yeah.
the stuff that was like just like plugged through my Twitter feeds for months on end. And,
Yeah.
Or having no choice to see if, because then I'll come away with no take on it.
Right.
On it, so
Yeah. That's mine. Mm-hmm. Pass it to you.
number 5, The Irishman. Martin Scorsese crime epic starring Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci. Kind of the Avengers Endgame for Scorsese and crime fans. All these guys kind of coming together doing like what could be one last go around. South Philly Pride, the movie takes place a lot in Philadelphia. There's references to like taking 476, a local highway that we all use sometimes. It had a little controversy with like the aging of the actors, the de-aging process, which no matter how many wrinkles you remove from De Niro, he's still gonna move like a 70-year-old.
What happened to just casting
Right.
people? Like, why do we? I feel like
I think because we as audiences are dumb, and we'll see a sequence in the first half and like one actor playing him, and then like we won't utilize the tools of cinematography of like maybe like a match cut. Like you have like a shot of like a younger actor's face, and the next shot is like is a different actor but in the same position. That might just suggest to the audience like, yes, it's the same person, but we've gone through time. Not everyone gets that. So also
I think that it's not the audience's fault. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here
Sure.
say that it's the responsibility of the creators to not coddle and stuff, because you're not helping anything. You're just perpetuating this weird expectation now of like James Dean's back. Like, fuck you. I hate this. And that's what I hate about these new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Is just these digitally it's not even people anymore.
Yeah, you know why? Because if we had Baby Yodas and Baba Fricks and whatever, it's just like, these are like not people, so we can just like keep putting them in things and people love them, and they don't have like demands, and you don't have to put them on the talk show circuit. And
It's just there's so many people, there's so many talented people in the world. Like, get somebody who looks it's not going to be hard to find somebody who maybe bears a passing resemblance to a fucking young Robert De Niro.
Hell, yeah. Robert, what's his name? Joe Bernthal from he was in Wolf of Wall Street and like The Walking Dead.
Oh, he would have been great.
Yeah, The Punisher, I believe. Yeah,
alter him a little bit.
Yeah.
But get a different fucking guy in
maybe
there.
give him a mole on his cheek.
Just like stop being lazy.
Yeah,
like,
Oscar Isaac would have been a great Al Pacino.
Anybody.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit. Get somebody. It doesn't even have to look like them. You know what? I could. Yeah, audiences are dumb. We will suspend our disbelief.
I also can see that maybe if you have the same actor playing the same character throughout the entire film, it does kind of keep like a consistent emotional bond you form.
I agree. Yeah.
So like, I get it.
I get it too. And it's impressive that they did it the way they did it. I mean, I haven't seen it, but like I've heard the process.
Yeah. Oh, check it out.
They didn't put any dots on their faces. There wasn't anything like that.
I believe what they
right?
did was like some like infrared dots, so like certain cameras could pick them up, but they weren't distracting for the actors. Because I'm sure De Niro would be like, "What the fuck is this? I can't act with Al Pacino," and he's got fucking dots on his head like a tennis ball. You know.
It sounds impressive.
Yeah, it's a great film about time and another film about friendship and. It's kind of like the anti-Goodfellas, where it doesn't glorify the mafia or like the crime aspects. It's not like
that's cool. I like.
There's not like a rock and roll murder montage set to the Rolling Stones.
It's not getting a Scarface.
No, you really see the ramifications of like the effect that living this kind of life has on family.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's got a final act that just has a couple it's a slow march to the grave for the main character and. Yeah, I'm glad it got made, even by Netflix. I managed to see this in theaters with my dad. We went down to the Bryn Mawr Film Institute, a packed house. It was like Veterans Day weekend.
Oh yeah, my
Monday.
God.
Yeah,
I bet
they were saying like every show sold out that weekend, and then it was on Netflix like a few weeks later. And I'm glad I watched it again on Netflix recently, and I look forward to rewatching it again and again, and still finding new things about it. And
nice.
Yeah,
I hear it's great. Yeah, I didn't mean to go off on a rage tantrum about
oh, please. Yeah, I have very strong thoughts about it as well.
Stuff. It's just
it is dumb because it's worked in the past. Even Goodfellas itself had like a younger actor playing the Ray Liotta character in the first like 20, 30 minutes, and like it worked.
Yeah, just the fact that Scorsese is now doing it is like. It's just weird.
Yeah,
it's just weird. I don't know what it says about where things are going, and it scares me. Anyway,
you should be very.
You should be scared. No one's ever really gone.
Yeah. So what's your number 5 of 2019?
My number 5 of 2019.
As we approach hour 7 of this podcast.
Yes. I have to say, Castle Rock season 2.
Oh yeah. Stephen King anthology show on Hulu.
Yes. Yep. Really good. Not an anthology. Spoiler alert. There's some strong connections between season 1 and season 2, which I was kind of disappointed about because season 2 starts. We're hyper focused in on this very small story about what's her face. The Kathy Bates character, in Misery.
Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes
from Misery. Yes,
and her daughter Joy, driving. Around. They're like kind of on the run from the law. Annie Wilkes is playing. She's like a nurse, so she's like getting like kind of lying about her life to get temporary jobs at hospitals to afford medication for her psychosis, for her medical condition or mental condition. That's where we start the season, and then they end up in Jerusalem's Lot, which is if you're not familiar.
Salem's Lot.
Yeah, it's the same. Well, there's Salem's Lot and there's Jerusalem's Lot. Salem's Lot is like a portion of the town, I believe, in Jerusalem's Lot, but it's based on the book Salem's Lot.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you have in your Stephen King fictional universe, you have like Derry, and then Castle Rock, and then Jerusalem's Lot is like it's all kind of like the same towns and
they sent all the prisoners to Shawshank.
Shawshank is there. We have some beautiful shots of. We go back to Shawshank much as we did in season 1. There's a very great shot because Tim Robinson plays.
Tim Robbins.
Sorry,
Tim Robinson.
Sorry, he's on my mind. Tim Robbins. Thank you. Plays a character in this show who. There's one episode where he goes to
the cell.
Well, no, he goes to
Zewataneo?
No, the name Shawshank.
He goes to Shawshank.
There's a moment they put in a scene in the show where he walks into Shawshank,
of course.
And I was just like, oh my god, like
it's like, hey, remember that movie he was in?
Yeah, hey, remember that?
Yeah.
It cuts to Stephen King just being like, remember? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it starts out this really small story, and then there's an event that happens in town, which is they bring back Ace from Stand By Me.
Okay.
Tim Robbins plays Pop, who's like this kind of mob kind of he's like a powerful entity in the town. He runs things.
Gotcha.
He's a very seedy kind of guy. And his nephew Ace plays a crucial role in the show. Things get fucked up. And then in a classic kind of J.J. Abrams produced kind of way, by the end of the season, we feel like we have to honor the past. Because no one's ever really gone, Jaya.
No one's ever really gone.
And Jamie and I watched this, and there was definitely some moments where it's like, you didn't need to do this. You really didn't need to do this. This was like, you're knocking it out of the park, and now you're kind of ham-fisting this thing in here, and then it still doesn't go anywhere. So, but the woman who plays Annie Wilkes,
Lizzie Kaplan,
is incredible in this show.
I love
She
Lizzie
disappears into this character. It's very well done. The acting's really good. The pacing's really great. It's 10 times better, in my opinion, than season 1. And it's just it was a nice spooky show. It was really fun.
A spooky show.
I enjoyed
for the fall.
it. Yeah, and I'm a big Stephen King fan. All of his baggage aside, his
what baggage?
His canceled baggage.
What? He's canceled?
Man did a lot of coke in the 80s.
That's not cancellation behavior.
No, it's not.
He does drugs.
I don't know.
He's got demons.
I know, but he's written. There's like a particular story where he goes into really things that he didn't really need to go into about sexual abuse and stuff like that. And
all right.
The orgy scene in the book. Man did a lot of coke.
Yeah.
He's on the right team.
It was the 80s. Everyone was doing coke.
He's on the team. But yeah, anyway.
Cool. So Castle Rock, that was your number
Castle Rock
5.
Season 2.
Season 2.
It's on Hulu now.
Okay.
Check it out. It's worth it for Lizzie Kaplan's performance.
I always love Lizzie Kaplan.
She's great.
Mm-hmm. My number 4 was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So what's your number 4?
Oh, my number 4. Yeah. I would have to say the album Hello Exile by the Men Singers.
The Men Singers.
Men Singers.
Men Singers.
Yeah, they're a Philly band.
Cool.
Again, another good album. They released it this year. Their single America, You're Freaking Me Out was I heard that first, and it was like a banger, song of the times. Yeah, it's just they do a really good job with their themes and their different albums. Their last album, After the Party, you're clearly following kind of like these characters and this relationship, but it's also some personal stuff in there too. Yeah, it's just it's a good record. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's mine. Check it out. Hello Exile by the Men Singers. It's on Spotify.
My number 3 was I Think You Should Leave, season 1. Should I just go to my number 2?
What was it?
I Think You Should Leave.
Oh, I Think You Should Leave. Yeah. Just go to
my number 2.
What was my number 3 then?
I don't know. Your number 3 is. Do you have a number 3? Just trying to streamline a little bit of this.
Yeah, sorry. My number 3 is Big Improv Fest.
Improv. Oh.
The Baltimore Improv Group.
Baltimore
out of
Improv.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah. Every year they put on this great improv festival, Staycation. My improv team.
Check them out. First Saturdays of the month, Steel Stacks, 10:30 at night.
We do improvised television.
Trip to here.
A trip to here. I've gone down the past 2 years. It's in Baltimore, Maryland. They have a theater called the Big Theater, Baltimore Improv Group. And they always put on, it's always just a really nice community coming together. We have our own festival here. It's very just the Steel Stacks Improv Comedy Festival. It's a very positive experience every time I've gone down there. This year had an incredible set by the veteran team, the Stepfathers at a UCB. They did a mono scene, which is like one long scene. It feels like a play. One location. There's just 4 characters.
Very limiting. I like it.
Very limiting.
Yeah.
And they did it was like a little over an hour long set, and just the everything's made up on the spot. They had a 1-word suggestion. That's all they had, and the characters that emerged out of this is about this family. I'm not going to describe it to you, but it was just a nice experience. Always love going down there. Terry Withers is the artistic director, old UCB guy of the Big Theater, and he's taught a couple workshops here. Very funny. Check out Big Improv if you're ever in the Baltimore area. Go see a show. All their shows are free, which is
it's
insane.
A good draw for Crab City.
It is Crab City. Oh, I had some crab while I was there. It was a nice experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good experience I had in 2019 that I can relate to.
We just said it was top 19. They didn't say it was like movies or television.
Exactly.
Experiences go as well.
Breaking out of the.
I'm gonna be changing my list for next year.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you told me hey, you could do a sandwich, and from that point, I was like, all right, well, anything goes.
Cool.
All right, we'll go to you.
My number 2, 2019. Deadwood the movie.
Okay.
Technically, I guess it aired on HBO, but it was a feature-long film, a wrap-up to the acclaimed HBO drama Deadwood. David Milch, the writer of this show and the movie, I think he is the Jesus Christ of TV. He is our Savior, our Lord and Savior. He suffered for our sins, and he gave us some of the best possibilities of what the genre is possible with. Sentence.
Some good possibilities of what the genre is possible with. Yeah, that's fine.
I just watched Baby Yoda yesterday. I believe he's mainlining the secrets of the universe.
Wow.
The way he uses the written word is just beyond measure, beyond comprehension. Even more fascinating is the fact that he rarely writes himself. He dictates to assistants, and they write it because he believes that the medium, the tools of a keyboard, typewriter, or even a pen, they would distract from just like the pure essence of the humanity of what he's trying to portray.
Whatever he's tapping into.
Right. He's someone I've been fascinated with for years, and unfortunately, he's recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and they're saying that this might be like this movie wrap up of Deadwood might be like the last thing that he does. I mean, apparently he's still working. He's still trying to do one day at a time. Apparently, he's working on an autobiography. Anyway, this was years ago after Deadwood was canceled by HBO due to a whole litany of weird excuses, and basically boiled down to money and contracts. They promised a wrap up film, even a couple wrap up films, because season 3 does not. It ends in a slight cliffhanger. So this was kind of picking up years later as the territory in the show becomes a state of the United States in the late 1880s. And it was just being with old friends again, man. That's what half this stuff is. It was just seeing your favorite characters just kind of bounce off each other and seeing how much they've changed, how much they haven't changed. Ian McShane was kind of channeling a lot of David Milch's own personal health issues as his character was kind of just on his way out, one foot in the grave. I've only watched it once, and I'm just waiting for that perfect kind of moment to watch it again. Yeah, just to kind of live in that world.
Did you do a full rewatch before the?
I've been doing full rewatches like once every couple years. So it was kind of fresh in my head.
Okay,
I didn't do it right before. I didn't do a full one.
I only watched like 4 episodes of Deadwood back in the day, and I tried to do it again recently. I got 2 in, and I'm just like I can't lock in.
Okay,
but did it? Were there a lot of things that were left unresolved in the original series that this paid off on, or is it less about
Not
that?
Really, it was really just kind of just checking in with some characters. I mean, obviously, this was all. The reason it took so long to come together is because like Timothy Olyphant, the star, like he was like on that show Justified for years, and I just kind of ate up into like scheduling. But Earl Brown, who played Dan Doherty, one of Ian McShane's lieutenants on the show, he was just kind of like a super fan. He even wrote on the show, but he was kind of keeping tabs of like. He literally had like a notepad by his phone, like, okay, Timothy Olyphant's doing Justified, and like Molly Parker's doing Lost in Space, and he just kind of had like a visual map in terms of like where everyone was and scheduling for how much time was in the near future. And then once Justified ended, I think there was kind of this window that kind of opened up for everybody, and David Milch was working on the script, and they somehow moved heaven and earth to make this wrap up film, which it worked. It wasn't perfect, not everyone was available. Plus, the real power in Deadwood was just kind of, a 12 episode season would kind of like almost in real time cover a 2-week span of these people's lives. So they kind of had to kind of, economically condense some things. But this was one of my favorite viewing experiences of the year.
That's nice.
And I feel like there's so much Milch we did not get, and I hope we see some more of that come to life.
It's tragic.
He's notoriously
how old is he?
He's in his 70s, I believe.
Oh, okay. He would have had some time left.
Even after Deadwood ended, he had a couple attempts of new shows like John from Cincinnati, which had the unfortunate timing of airing right after the Sopranos finale, and it was about like surfers and mysticism in California, and just didn't really pop with anybody.
Yeah.
And then he did a show called Luck on HBO about a horse racing track.
Oh, you brought this up to me before in one season, right?
Dustin Hoffman played like a mob figure, and there's like, you follow like the jockeys and like the gamblers and people working with the horses. And that show had potential to go far, I think, because it was everything that Milch had a very well-documented history of addiction. He very famously was revealed to have lost almost $80 million in gambling. He
very Bukowski-esque character.
Yeah. But check out some of this. There's like on YouTube some like series of lectures he's given to like writers and producers, and it's a whole nother level.
He's probably facing a pretty big uphill battle, just being like, "How do I? Hey, did you see his new show?" And it's like, "What's it about? Horse racing."
Yeah,
and it's like, huh.
The way they shot horse races is beautiful.
Yeah. See, I don't. Yeah,
it had a season 2 order. They actually were filming the very first episode of season 2, but then another horse unfortunately died on set, which is
R.I.P. horse.
It was just like the publicity of that was just like too. They couldn't. They just had to cancel the show after that, which is a shame because like the horses they use for film productions are typically just like older horses anyway. They're on their way out, and things just happen. You're on a kind of accelerated schedule for television production. Apparently, one of the horses died just because they were leading a horse through a barn, and like a car in the distance backfired, and the horse got startled, reared up on its hind legs, hit its head. So it wasn't anything malicious going on. It's not like they were like
it's a freak accident.
It's just a lot of accidents, and you're working with animals, and look,
they're unpredictable.
We're killing animals for food every day, and it's just like you don't cancel shows over that.
Not the cute ones.
Not the cute ones. Yeah,
because that's different, Jaya. Yeah. That's different. Why eat a turtle or a dog or a cat?
Yeah, let's just kill pigs. I mean, the smartest animal, but
Yeah, we don't know that. They're just covered in shit.
Yeah.
So they must not be smart because they're covered in shit. Let's fucking eat them. I'm not passing judgment. I started eating meat again recently.
So did I, but I'm going to change in 2020. I'm going back to vegan.
I do. Yeah. I have an idea for the end of this show that I did not run by you, but we'll touch on that.
Do that. So that was my number 2 of 2019, Deadwood the movie. Check it out, but first watch the entire 3-season run on HBO.
Great.
Transcendent television.
Awesome. Sounds good.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Marriage Story, the recent movie by Noah Baumbach, starring Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, with a nice, delightful cameo by Ray Liotta and Lauren Dern. Mm-hmm. This movie's fresh in my memory, so therefore I remember everybody who was in it, and I feel very confident to talk about it. Unlike most of the things I've talked about today. I've done my research. There's been a lot of shit that this movie's gotten on Twitter because people just keep posting that one scene of Adam Driver screaming and punching a wall, and people watching that out of context of the film. People need to form their own opinions on things by watching them first and experiencing themselves, and not just following the mom mentality of whatever gets posted on the fucking internet. So go see Marriage Story.
It's on Netflix now.
Noah Baumbach, I have been a pretty big fan of since Squid and the Whale. Kicking and Screaming, his first movie, is one of my favorite movies of all time. I loved Mistress America. That was really great. I'm a big fan of this director. So the opportunity to see one of his movies in a theater was really nice. I saw this.
Oh, you did see it in theaters?
I saw it at Steel Stacks. I wanted to have an experience where I could not be on my phone or be distracted. Mm-hmm. It feels very much about his divorce from before he got together with Greta Gerwig. It feels very like a very personal movie. Adam Driver is one of the, I would say him and Jake Gyllenhaal are two of the greatest actors of our generation right now. Scarlett Johansson as well. She kills it in this movie. Their chemistry together is incredible. Adam Driver carried those fucking Star Wars movies. Mm-hmm. I love Adam Driver. He can do no wrong for me. So seeing him just like do a nice slow movie about a marriage dissolving was very, very good. And the acting, I can't speak higher of it. Mm-hmm. And just the delightful cameo of Ray Liotta playing a scumbag LA divorce lawyer was perfect casting. Alan Alda, I heard his voice off screen and I was like, oh my god, it's Alan Alda. And then Alan Alda walked onto the screen. Just a really nice movie.
It really showed you like how like just like the Kafka-esque way that divorce takes people. Like you have to establish residency here, and like messy. she has to pay for half. I have to pay for half of her attorney, but also while they're like essentially getting along, it's nothing like.
No, it's like they start out. It's like we don't want this to get messy. Let's do it. And then he's like, well, then why are we getting lawyers? And and then it's really the lawyers who pit them against each other. And,
there's that great scene where like they do have like the lawyers, like it's like divorce court, and they're kind of like both like kind of just bringing out all the ugliness about their clients, and then you reveal like, oh, there's actually like other people in this room. There's like they're all kind of waiting for to get their story before the judge, and
it's sad. Don't just watch this clip of them fighting. That is a great scene. But the scene where Adam Driver gets served divorce papers while at his mother-in-law's house for the first time, and he doesn't see it coming. Just great acting in this movie. And Scarlett Johansson, the scene where she's with Laura Dern, who plays her lawyer, just like it's the first time she's meeting with her. They're discussing a plan of attack, or so to speak, like to get through this separation. It's just really well done, and Noah Baumbach's one of my favorite people.
Absolutely.
So,
and they kind of gave them the trailer, but that first opening sequence where like they each kind of read a list about like what they like about the other person. Just like, oh, she leaves coffee cups, and like she's a slob, and he's
very idealized.
He turned lights off, and that
she cuts her hair.
That is really it was just worked like gangbusters in terms of just showing us who these people were.
Very intimate, specific like details about like that only you would know about your significant other. Yeah, and then I didn't watch. I think I saw half of the trailer to this movie. I knew nothing. I didn't know that it was about a marriage falling apart. I figured like, oh, here's a marriage going through some difficulty. So to have that beginning scene of them saying all the things they love about each other, and then hard cut to the therapist's office being like, she's like, I'm not even going to read mine. And then we have that nice payoff later where he reads it.
He does read it,
in front of his son.
A little bookend,
Yeah, it was nice.
That you plant the seed in the first act, and then you blossom the flower in the last act.
Yeah. It's a great, meaty acting movie. It's very good, and it's acting. Remember acting?
Yeah.
The people who exist in real life who haven't passed away 50 years ago. People who look like themselves and aren't digitally altered.
Just like give them some lines and they just read it, and like but they infuse like emotions and meaning and subtext and layers into those lines, and
they
move around a room. You know,
like nobody moves like this person. Nobody talks like this person. You know what I mean? Like human experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It feels like like your heart's coming out of your chest as you're watching this. Like you recognize yourself and like all the shit you've done over the years in that person.
And
and it makes you
feeling something.
Makes you like run through all the regrets in your head, and like you just almost stop watching the film because like, oh my god, what have I been doing in my life? I just
these thoughts are usually reserved for 2:00 in the morning. Right. When you put your phone down, you're like, oh my god, every moment I've ever been an asshole to somebody is flushed into my head, and you're alone. You're alone, so there's nobody there to talk to about it,
right?
Or like bounce off ideas. Nobody's telling you that you're overthinking this too much because you're trapped in your own fucking head, and it's because it's just you. It's just you, and everybody has a universe inside of them. Everybody's living a life. You look out the window right now, and there's people driving by. There's an entire narrative. Maybe you never meet this person. Maybe this is the only time you ever see this person is in a passing car. They have a whole life inside of them. They've maybe created life. They've maybe lost life. Maybe that's the last person.
They've taken life.
Maybe they've taken a life.
Could be a lot of murders down there.
Maybe they've saved a life.
Oh.
Maybe they'll die themselves 30 seconds after you see them.
They might die because you saw them.
Because of you. It could be the butterfly effect. You could drop a spoon outside of a window, which causes a bird to fly into a jet engine. But like, who knows? There's a lot of cranes that hang out outside your apartment complex, Jaya. A crane could fall into a jet engine. It's about the human experience. It's chaos, and it's messy, and it's wet and sweaty. And I like to see it on the screen. I like my screens. Give me more. Give me more screens.
We'll get you some more screens.
All right.
They're bite-sized now. You have one for a snack.
I'm gonna watch
bite-sized screens.
Ooh, bite-sized screens. I put in my pocket.
Yeah, fill in my pocket.
Jaya, what is your number one of 2019?
My number one of 2019.
Should we say it together?
I don't think you know it, but
okay, all right, go ahead.
The Beach Bum.
Matthew.
Justin just set down his headphones and he's leaving. The Beach Bum. This was a Matthew McConaughey. He's literally gone. Matthew McConaughey movie playing the titular slacker world famous author Moondog, which you dropped earlier, I guess taken from that. Going on adventures in Florida.
I heard Moondog and it came back.
Yeah,
Wait,
Moondog.
really? That's who he plays?
Yeah, he plays a guy named Moondog. He's
Wait,
like a poet. I don't think
Yeah.
he's actually the Moondog, but he plays a guy named Moondog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know if it actually was like you playing that man.
And he's just like getting high the whole movie, just going around on boats, banging waitresses. But also like has like a lot of money because he's like a world-renowned short story author. And this movie just goes down all kinds of fun rabbit holes with like a vaping Zac Efron, Martin Lawrence playing a Vietnam
That's how
veteran.
I like my Efron vaping.
He's vaping. He's got this beard haircut that looks like he like got pressed between like a panini maker, just like these like kind of like these separated lines.
Okay.
Martin Lawrence plays this Vietnam veteran called Captain Whack, and they go on like they just kind of give some dolphin tours around like the Keys of Florida. This movie was like a Thomas Pynchon novel brought to life. Just these weird short stories, ridiculous colors and characters. More, please. Basically, why I chose this as my number one is there's this line towards the end of the film where after all the events, the plot, things happen, things explode, money, catharsis. He's explaining his philosophy, Moondog, Matthew McConaughey, and he says, "I'm a reverse paranoid. I'm quite certain the world is conspiring to make me happy." And that is just a philosophy that really kind of it was a way of thinking that I hadn't really put into words before, heard put into words before. And it's kind of something I want to take going into the new year. And there's a lot of things to get us down going on in the world. A lot of it is just kind of, there are true horrors, but also we're addicted to outrage. So maybe we make ourselves feel bad by reading about things that, this could be selfish, but don't affect our day to day. And we can still contribute to making the world a better place, obviously. But I think that we need to look around us and realize that there's a lot of good stuff in our lives, and
it's difficult now more than ever. But it's the thing we need to do. It's hard, but
we got to keep trying, because we're not trying, then what's the point?
And we're all in this together.
So that was my number one movie, The Beach Bum. I just had a smile on my face watching the entire thing. Check it out. It's available on home video now. I think it's on Hulu as well.
Okay.
That's The Beach Bum. So that's the movie I'm going to take away with me going into the new year.
Great.
What was your number one of 2019?
My number one of 2019 would have to be John Mulaney's Sack Lunch Bunch.
Yes.
It's the most recent thing aside from Little Women that I've experienced, content-wise. One of the last things I will have watched this year. Great for the holidays.
We got a couple more days this year, but
we got a couple more days. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing Knives Out tonight.
Okay.
So there's some opportunities. 4 days is like a long time. I think we got like 4 days left.
The Sackler Bunch, yes, I heartily agree with you. It was one of them. I was afraid to put on the list because I was like, is this just recency bias? I just saw it. But
I think it's
fuck that shit.
Yeah, I was expecting that to be your number one.
Yeah,
I was like,
okay,
because you were raving about it.
Yeah,
but I like that. Yeah,
I was playing the soundtrack when you came in.
I didn't notice.
You didn't hear that?
No. I've only seen it once. I'm gonna rewatch it soon.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do an episode on it. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's just really delightful. John Mulaney is one of the best stand-up comedians we have now. Right, currently, in my opinion.
He's up there, absolutely.
He's up there. He's really good. And his new special is a children's show.
It's a children's show that's for adults, but also appropriate for children.
And treats children like adults.
Yeah.
It doesn't talk down to them.
Not at all.
They have their own personalities, particularly the kid with glasses talking about his fears.
Yeah, they kind of intercut the entire special with like talking head interviews with all the people involved, and just talking like, what are you afraid of?
All the kids, yeah, and that's the underlying theme. It's like, oh, what's your biggest fear? What are you afraid of? And all these kids have very interesting answers.
Yeah,
and John Mulaney, he's not even so much like. He's not like a Pee-wee or like Mr. Rogers.
He's playing himself.
He's just hanging out.
Yeah, he's just hanging out with like 15 kids.
He's not like, hey, we're gonna play some games. It just happens to be like the kids really run the show. Like they break into song.
A lot of great songs. That's why I was saying the soundtrack I downloaded. I can't
Noodles
get out of
with
my
a little
head.
bit of butter.
Yeah, Grandma's Got a Boyfriend. I saw a white lady crying on the street.
Yeah.
The restaurant song. Play restaurant. Yeah. It's a half sketch show. It's like a Sesame Street episode.
Lots of a few really nice cameos.
Yes, I won't give
the play one where the little girl is putting on a play for her family.
Yes.
And then
Pay attention.
Pay attention. Yeah. That was the cameo in that is the plays the older gentleman is excellent.
Going to a blind, just boot it up. I mean, from the first moment, there's just like some really solid jokes.
Solid jokes, and it almost made me cry at the end.
Yeah, I didn't want it to end. I was like, I kind of spaced out, like watching it over like a day or two.
Yeah,
like I started watching my parents' house, but like there's all kinds of noise issues there, so like, I'll just watch this later.
Yeah,
and I was like texting you guys. I was like, I just don't want this thing to end. It was like only 70 minutes long, but I'll definitely be. I hope they do more. I mean, I'm not sure. Could that be a series? I don't know.
You said that Richard Kind Girl Talk. You could smoke that up.
I could smoke that and roll it and join. Yeah,
that could be a show in itself.
Yeah,
I don't know. With I like that it just exists on its own, but it has all this potential.
The songs are so well written, where it's like it just kind of plays with different musical genres. Maybe you can speak to this. Just like these are like songs that I've heard similar songs to this before. I can never like put my finger on it, but like they just capture what those songs are, how they're done, how they're performed.
The best songs are ones that you think you've heard before.
Right? Yeah.
It's just really well done, and the kids are awesome, and they're so funny.
I believe some of them were like already like they were on like Sesame Street or just like obviously very well trained. in singing.
Really some dark underlying jokes, but you can watch this with your kids.
Not too many though.
Not too many.
Yeah, it was all just kind of playing with like these are references that adults would get more. But
I shouldn't say dark. I should just say the show doesn't turn away from being real with like the human experience and human emotion. And like I said, they don't talk down to the kids.
No.
So and the kids are precocious kids.
Very precocious.
My friend Carly, her I believe her niece, she plays the young girl with the clarinet.
Little connection.
Overalls. Yeah, a little connection there.
Yeah. You're keeping everything local, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
Keeping everything local.
Yeah.
I gotta anchor us somehow. Local in a sense, it's Long Island. I believe that she lives in Long Island, but they were playing it all day on Netflix on I believe Christmas Day when she was down visiting her family. So, So I mean, I'm I just want to say that I am connected in some way to Jake Gyllenhaal and John Mulaney.
That's
this.
good.
I've
Can we get them on the show?
4 degrees. I'll ask.
Yeah, just have their people talk to our people.
Yeah. That's my number 1 of 2019, Jaya.
That was a good capper for the year.
Yeah.
I give Netflix shit all the time, but they have given us some really incredible talent.
They're really stepping it up. I feel like it's becoming less of a dumping ground for movies that nobody else wants, and the original content. And like I don't know, I think because the last time I almost wrote off Netflix is when they dumped that fucking Cloverfield Paradox movie on there, and that was literally just like. I think that was this year, right? The Super Bowl, or was that last year?
That was a couple years ago, I believe.
Yeah, it was infuriating. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen, and it was just like this publicity stunt, and then you read about it, and it's like, no, this was a movie that they didn't know what to do with, and they're like, oh, hey,
just throw this name on it, yeah,
whatever. But there's been some really good hidden gems, uncut gems.
Probably not.
In Netflix. No,
typically the A24 films go to Amazon Prime. So.
You're right. I'm sorry.
No, but I just wish they would change that one feature where, like, when you're finished watching the show, like, the credits, they go into, like, a corner of the screen. Like, they start playing a trailer for something else. And like, let me just watch the credits. Let me sit with this thing before you make me watch the next thing.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, because you're feeling something, and then it's like...
Well, I found out you can...
Have you seen Riverdale?
You can turn off autoplay, actually. But, like, not, like, how you think. It's just, like, when you finish an episode of something, like, the credits will still go into, like, kind of a corner of the screen. But you can, like, if you go to, like, Netflix.com when you're on your fucking computer and go to your account, you can turn off the autoplay feature.
Okay.
So you still, when you navigate, it still autoplays trailers. But
I hope that, I don't know. I hope they step it up and change that stuff. I don't need the autoplay feature anymore.
I don't know. They never will. They'll keep that, but they will let you skip the credits, and they'll probably have, like, an instant replay feature more implemented heavily. And
we talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
And Black Panther. Yeah. Anyway. To end on a positive note.
Yes, positive note.
I want to end the show with hopes and aspirations for 2020. Is there anything that you see on the horizon for 2020 content-wise, or even if you want to get in your, like, hopes and dreams, personal dreams? We've been going for a little while now. But things you're looking forward to consuming in 2020 that on the horizon we're not going to get this year.
Very briefly. Okay. Better Call Saul Season 5.
Great.
That show is almost on level better than Breaking Bad in some ways. We got the movie Dune.
Oh,
the
okay.
big budget adaptation, Denis Villeneuve of the novel, sci-fi epic.
One of the best sci-fi directors we have right now. Denis Villeneuve.
That's coming out
new voice.
About a year from now. I can't wait for that. That's all I can think of. Tenet, the new Christopher Nolan film.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure we'll be pleasantly surprised by what's next. Those are the things that just come to mind.
Yeah, we didn't plan it ahead of I just wanted to touch on the future as we're looking into 2020. We're counting down. The little ball's gonna drop and everybody's gonna cheer.
Cyberpunk 2077, the new open world cyberpunk video game by the creators of the Witcher franchise.
Oh, nice.
That'll be taking off work for that. I bet.
Yeah, it would just vanish.
I'll be gone.
Maybe we should record some episodes before then, just to have in the queue, just in case I can't get a hold of you.
Sorry, I'm just so busy with work. I just have no time to podcast these days.
Meanwhile, I just like attaching a new arm to your character.
You fly a drone past my window.
Yeah.
What about you, Justin?
Also looking forward to Tenet. Sold on that prologue we saw before McClunky.
That was fun.
That was really fun. Really looking forward to, I hate to say it, the new Ghostbusters. They're really manipulating me in a lot of ways. That new Ghostbusters trailer came out. I don't know.
Justin, who are you going to call?
I'm going to call the Ghostbusters. Or as Dan Aykroyd said in Casper, someone else. And that's what they did with this movie.
That's good.
I'll see it because it's a Ghostbusters movie. They got me hook, line, and sinker with that trailer.
I'll be there for Carrie Coon.
Yeah, I'm there for Carrie Coon. Finn Wolfhard, sure. Gunner Seat, all right. They're exterminators. They're glorified exterminators who saved the world accidentally.
And we must take it seriously.
No
jokes. No jokes in Ghostbusters.
No jokes. I'm looking forward to no jokes in 2020. All serious stuff. I'm looking forward to digital James Dean. Really looking forward to Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
That movie, that's a movie.
It's an interactive.
The Pain Simulator really touched me. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much all that I have on the horizon. We mentioned a couple things in this episode that are coming out soon. New seasons of things.
We've got an election. Bernie 2020, baby. Feel the burn.
You know what? I'm gonna say it right now.
Say it.
If Bernie does not win in 2020, I'm going to give up and I'm going to watch Mr. Robot. That's the threat I'm making on this podcast.
So if we're looking at another 4 years of DT.
I've said it because because we just had that whole British election I don't know. The world's getting me down, Jaya. And I watched Avengers the other night and I got that feeling where it's like, yeah, you know what? I could just work my job, stop making things, and just come home and take off my pants and just watch Marvel movies and Disney movies. And that would be my life. And that's all I'll talk about.
You probably do that for another 30, 40 years. And then just things will come to an end eventually. Your body will give out.
Yeah.
Your mind will just go crazy. Crazier.
I wanted to end this on a positive note.
All right.
Hopes for the future. But then now I'm spiraling into...
Well, positive note is at all the New Year's Eve parties, we get to wear those glasses with like 2 zeros in them again. So
I'm back up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. You know what?
It's going to be great. A little off kilter, but yeah, you get 2 zeros again.
Looking forward to it. This is the last episode of 2019. So thanks for listening.
This was a fun new venture for both of us.
Yeah, we have some weird stuff planned for next year. We hope to maybe try out.
Hopefully some experiments.
Yeah.
Watch some new. Hopefully we'll get a little more literate. I want to start a book club. We talked briefly about like we're going to read House of Leaves, and we didn't
Infinite Jest.
Yeah,
we're going to do.
We have
stuff. We have ideas.
I think we need to start smaller with some short stories or just like some like paperback novels that we can fit in our pockets.
Yeah. We got some good guests. Lined up. I think we have at least one guest who has a short story that he wants to cover. So yeah, I'd like to read more in 2020. I'd like to eat less meat and read more.
I want to read more. I want to exercise. I want to wake up earlier. I want to start meditating again because that was a good practice that I stopped doing after I went on a retreat last year. That would have made my list probably. I went on a meditation retreat in May of 2019.
Which made you stop meditating?
Well, because I did it so much, I was like, all right, I'm good for a bit. And
I got my tank full.
Yeah, exactly. And then it just slowly just started depleting. And my monkey mind just starts going all kinds of crazy places. Like, remember the time you said something really bad to a girl you liked like 13 years ago and no one else heard it but you? I don't know.
Hey, I got those too. I wrote something in a yearbook that I will regret forever, and I hope to God she burned it. On that note, hey, Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Stay safe out there.
Stay safe.
watch some good stuff, read some more. Let's make this a year of reading books.
Let's all read more. Especially articles before we share them on the internet, people. Let's do it.
Let's burn down the internet.
Let's burn down the internet. Let's kill the digital clone of James Dean.
Yeah.
He can be killed. There are methods to kill him, and we will figure out how to kill James Dean again. We will kill him again because he must not exist. Much like the dinosaurs, they were meant to be extinguished. We must... My one last thing I want to say, if I step out of your apartment complex right now, Jai, and I'm hit by a car...
You got your backpack, you ready to go. This is it.
We have to kill James Dean.
See you later.
Dean's life was cut short by a car crash in 1955. Now, movie makers are using computer technology to bring him back in a new role. This week, a production company announced it purchased the rights to use Dean's image from the late actor's family. Their plan is to use a mixture of old film footage and photos to create a digital Dean to co-star in a new film called Finding Jack. Another actor will provide the character's voice and body. Reactions to the announcements haven't exactly been positive.
It seems like actors in particular are not too enthused with the idea that is now dawning on them that after they pass away, they may be brought back to play roles they might not have otherwise agreed to do. The illusion wasn't convincing. Can you make them suspend disbelief and make them believe that this dead person is somehow still performing and still acting? That's a very tall order.
Now, with rapidly evolving technology, could resurrecting stars of the past be a much larger part of our film-going future?
Regardless of what happens with Finding Jack, I think we all need to accept the fact that this is the future. What if you could make a new Star Wars with the digital versions of all the original characters, not just Carrie Fisher? What if you could make a sequel to Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman? I think this is the start of perhaps a slightly ghoulish new trend.
No one's ever really gone.